Harper over the mound. Fermin throws him out. Ball game over. It's a 5-1 Cardinals win. They ride the extra base hit to their first victory in the last 8 games against Milwaukee.
Jeff Levering on the play-by-play on Brewers TV. The Crew followed the Cardinals 5-1 at Busch. Kyle Harrison, not his best outing. He gives up 3 earned runs and was pulled after just 4 innings with some elbow soreness. The series finale is tonight starting at 6:45. Logan Henderson pitches against Andre Palante. We almost saw some history in San Francisco on Wednesday.
And it's lined into center, a base hit to lead off the top of the 9th inning. The first hit of the ball game for the Giants.
Dylan Cease takes a no-hitter into the 9th. He still gets the win, as do his Blue Jays, 10-0 over the Giants. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Bill for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick the tail. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Who's ready to cut and crack this morning? Welcome into the 5 o'clock club. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 in Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. My name is Drew Olson, joined by my pals Bill Schmid,
the cutting and cracking crew,
and Armen Sarian.
Good morning, guys, and what up, Vinny and Mequan early, first in the club, 5 o'clock on the YouTube comments. I see you out there, Vince, number 37, Vinny, I should say.
Let's get the club going up on a Thursday. Is this
rock and roll
Thursday,
come on,
boys? Yeah.
You called him Vince. I think only his mom calls him Vince.
Yeah, and only when she's really ticked at.
Or his cousin.
Yeah, I got thrown off.
My cousin Vinny.
You see from the, at least I didn't say Vincent or like Vincenzo if he's Italian. But yeah,
that's what I call Vinny Rotino. Vincenzo.
I like that one a lot.
That's like
Grazie, Vincenzo.
That's like the Armen move, right, Billy? When I like to say Salvatore,
You try to act like you're a little bit better friends with them than you are.
Act like I know everybody use their full first name or middle name when they
don't go by it.
Their first name, right? But it threw me off because it says Vince on his YouTube handle, but Vinny from Mequan is how he monikers himself. So either way, he's in the club. As you are, hopefully, as we enter the 5 o'clock hour.
Welcome into the club on this Thursday. Brewers lose to the Cardinals last evening. They just got shut down. Maybe a little tired from the doubleheader sweep, perhaps. A little hangover. Well-pitched game against them. Guy had their number last night.
Yeah, the old adage that you can't win them all definitely applied last night. And when one of your better guys as well, the first batter, first pitch, gets jumped on right away, and Kyle Harrison. It has kind of been rolling that way for Harrison as of late. Looks like a little June swoon, maybe a little malaise here in July, and
elbow soreness is what we don't like to hear.
Yeah, and so hopefully that can all get cleared up, because it's always a good time for a break, as he said last night when he told the boys about that little soreness going on.
Well, that is always the like the boogeyman lurking around the corner for a pitcher is elbow soreness or elbow problem. So you do worry, but then again, who wouldn't be sore after the stretch they're having?
Yeah, that's his last start before the break, so he gets some time now. He's to let it quiet down a little bit, hopefully. But it just speaks to, again, like he's in an uncharted waters kind of, and when you get to the pennant race and all that, and everything amps up, it just further cements that they have to go get some arms. They have to go get starting help and a reliever. They just need to, and they have the assets. And there's no question. I have no question they're going to make like at least one, if not two, like pretty significant moves.
Yeah, and Drew, and I like to hear that because I'm with you, and I think Harrison maybe could have been foreseen earlier in the year. We talked a little bit more about it with Miz. Now he's just been so dominant that you almost feel like you're throwing a lot of that stuff out the window. But these guys are still 24, 23 young guys who you have to build up wherever their innings end up getting to. And uncharted territory is the best way of putting it here late into the year. He's been on teams that haven't been contending this way. And now he's getting different level of scouting reports on him by major league clubs because he's been so good. And it does. I think it further cements their place that they need starting pitching. And I would be hesitant to think that you would look at a season, look at an opportunity, and think there'd be a better one than the club has in front of them right now. I mean, the way that the Dodgers and Brewers have separated themselves in the NL and how close you were last year, and the position players that have gotten significantly better from a year ago for the entire 162 just feels like a great time to capitalize. And nothing is locked in yet. I mean, a 6-game lead is always a nice one to have, but you definitely need some more reinforcements. And I'd be interested to see if some of them come a little sooner rather than later.
Kyle Harrison's career high for innings in his brief big league career, 124. He's at 83 right now.
And what is it, like a 25 inning increase, 30? Is it a percentage thing usually guys will kind of go on?
Usually, that's generally it. You just got to be careful with young arms, protect them, and he's 24 and he's quite the asset. So
big time.
Going to be a high side of caution, but hopefully it's, he's pitching through it, which is good. But if he's pitching ineffectively and giving you short starts, not good.
Right.
And we'll see how he comes back after the break. But yeah, these guys, and again, when you get, that's why I'm starting to think about guys like, I just saw Verlander do his presser and announce that he's stepping out.
Farewell, no doubt.
Now, will he want to finish in, where he is? Will he want to have the farewell tour if they're not in it? Like, does he want to go to a contender and have one last shot? Does he want to ring chase? That'll be interesting, but
that would be awesome.
And Skubal's the special case because he's, not going to probably sign back to Detroit. So they kind of might have feel a Giannis rush to get some assets for him
to try to do something that they can. And
Skubal's been a pipe dream, but the Brewers have the assets to get him. It's like, do you want to give him up for a rental? But it's a double-edged thing with that though, because the calculus is, well, yeah, we can get him and he'll help us and we'll give up stuff. But if we don't get him, the Dodgers, we'll have to run up against the Dodgers.
And then you got to go take him on. Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, it's a preventative deal. So
not because of just the pitching side of it, but it will become a little bit of an arms race. Like, you do have to look at those two teams that you're going to, and I think the Phillies are going to be there as well. The Braves have kind of slid down and they're dinged up, no doubt about it. They've had a lot of injuries.
The Cubs need about the Braves.
Cubs need them. Braves need them. The Dodgers always seem to need them. So like there does feel like you almost want them so everybody else doesn't have them.
But here's the thing then. What is your Skubal package?
Well, that's the tough part,
your
right?
Skubal package, like I'm thinking,
this is full rental all the way.
Yeah, it's a full rental, but you got to get, and you're going to be competing. It's a full rental.
Yeah, it's a hot market though for him.
How about if I say I trade young outfielder Braylon Payne, prospect, Logan Henderson, big league kind of ready arm,
the big league ready arm.
That's the key,
and Sal Frelick.
Oh man, when you add Sal in there, that's a pretty price to give up.
That's a major league plug and play guy that becomes your outfielder. That people will like, that fans will like. You got a major league ready starter and an outfield prospect.
I mean, I think
probably say that's not enough, but Brewers fans are like, that's way too steep. For the Tigers, like, what are you kidding me?
I think that'd be somewhat of a competitive offer. Like it also depends on if it happens a little earlier, because from everything I'm reading, Drew, the more and more people are trying to have into these offers and build into these offers are the first and second round competitive balance picks that are coming up later on this week in the draft, and how they've moved around this calendar in baseball has made this kind of difficult. Like at this point, everybody would be in all trade mode for the longest time because the draft would have been a month behind us.
It used to be the June draft,
and now
June draft.
They wanted to try to spice it up, make it a television event during All-Star Week, and I don't necessarily know that it is, but I think that would be competitive. I think you would have to add a little bit more. Frelick's the interesting one, though, because he does have, obviously, some pelts on the wall at the big league level. And you can say guys are locked in and entrenched and a part of the fabric and a part of the core, and this is who we're about. Well, they did say the exact same thing about Caleb Durbin, and we haven't missed that guy at all.
Not at all.
Well, Isaac Collins, don't forget, and you're right, even though he's a fan favorite and you've somewhat invested some emotional energy in Sal, you're right, Billy. I mean, there is nothing is forever. And the way you look at things shaking out, the way Garrett has emerged this year and Luis Lara being up, Sal kind of projects the fourth outfielder.
Does Sal make that play in the first inning last night?
Well, he might.
Maybe.
That kind of set the tone, didn't it, last night? I mean,
yeah.
But you have to really think about the fact that you were going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up some guys you like if you want to try and trade for really good players. And you do have this glut of talent, but you can't keep them all, or in theory, you can't play them all.
Or do you give up? I mean, do you have to throw in a Pena?
Well, and that was the first name that I wrote down was Luis Pena, because right now he's 15th, 13th in Baseball America prospectus, in that range. There's been questions about what his health is at, but he's 21 years old, 20 years old. Like there's obvious time for that to get cleared up. The talent is pretty wild.
I was thinking you also got those spots like that's covered, like
right. And that's the thing. There's only certain. There's only so many guys that can play.
Exactly.
I put together right next to each other on line one, Pena and Williams. And I don't know if both and then something. I think both is a heck of a core of a package that you're given. I mean, that's pretty two good top 100 prospects. And I think that's what gets it done. But there's the guys that are untouchable are the ones that I think are pretty much for every team. Jesus Madej and Fisher would be the only two that I would be really reticent to give up, because those are the only two that I've seen now do something against some major league pitching, right? Like we saw Madej all spring training, and granted it's spring training. You can't take a lot of those results, but he's playing against big leaguers all camp, right?
And like extended run because of the World Baseball Classic.
And Fisher, the run that he had during the WBC, Drew. So those two would be the ones that I would hold on a different playing field. And I have no reservations about letting go any of the guys that you mentioned right there. Logan Henderson might be the toughest one for me because I'm really tantalized with his talent.
I like him as well. I think the problem is you run into, and you can't make decisions this way, but it always been part of it, is I think a lot of fans would look at Sal like they looked at Hader. Maybe it's not a great example, but the emotional investment people have had in Sal Frelick is crazy. And I don't when Hader was traded, people went crazy thinking, how can you trade Hader at this time of year? Sal's not the same impact player, but to some people, he feels that way. I think
Who are the some people?
You would get a lot of fans. You would have an emotional backlash with trading Sal in a pennant race. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that's totally logical. I'm saying you might get some backlash from fans that way. I believe that. I believe people have attached themselves emotionally to this guy that much.
But
I'm not saying it's right, Billy.
No, I know, but now you're speaking that a group of people are going to compare him to a 3-time reliever of the year in the package that they got back there. This one, he's not the best player in the package.
People will be pissed. I'm just saying they'd be absolutely upset
if they got Tarik Skubal, a back-to-back Cy Young Award winner.
They'd be happy about that. Yeah, they'd be happy about that. But people would not want to see Sal Frelick go in that package.
Here's the cautionary tale, because it was about 5 years ago, I think. I'm pretty sure. The Mets in the race in August, we need a boost. They go and trade for Javier Baez from the Cubs.
Yeah, that was a boost.
They went and got Javier Baez, and then they went in the tank. Their season went off the rails. Now, this trade was executed by a GM who was thrust into the job because his predecessor had sent some lewd sex to a reporter. So the guy was a little bit over his skis. But Sandy Alderson was the president, and they signed off on it, and they traded for Javi Baez, and they just gave up an outfield prospect named Pete Crow Armstrong, who is currently like leading the league in major leagues in WAR, and looks like he's going to be a superstar player for the Cubs. And then Baez bolted for free agency, so he was a rental. He went to the Tigers, and they narrator, as soon as they made that trade, they went in the tank and finished, I think, below 500. They went from like 7 games over, and they just went
that's
in the
phenomenal.
Tank. So that is one that's like, oh man.
Yep.
Not well executed.
And
so that's the cautionary tale. And you can always bring up like, well, they traded Jeff Bagwell, like, and Boston traded Jeff Bagwell for some, some schlub.
Oh, and Yordan Alvarez got traded for some back end middle reliever.
Yeah, there's always a risk there with those.
Always.
Tatis got traded for James Shields at one particular point in time. But like that was, I also do think, Drew, that was a few years ago, and it does seem as of late. I think Soto and Mason Miller have been the only guys that have gone in the last 5 years for a consensus top 5 prospect. So the Made might not even be a conversation. Everybody knows that's not going to happen, right? There's certain guys that you aren't going to have to even bargain against. But when you're talking about having a 1-2 punch that starts out with Jacob Mizorowski, who's going to win the Cy Young on the National League side this year, and the dude that's won it on the American League side back-to-back years, and one's from the right side, one's from the left, and both have funky delivery, is going to be difficult for anybody to pick up any. You can walk into any series you play and feel like you can be a favorite. That's something that tips the complete scales. And while I have been, quieting down the Skubal conversation, the part of it that I don't know you can overlook is, while you only get one guy and maybe you need multiple arms and a couple in the bullpen, he helps your bullpen out more than anything else.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, the ability that you would have to go a little deeper into some games if Tarik Skubal's taking the ball every 5th day right after Miz, your bullpen's going to get a lot more rest, and there should be some less opportunities for Aaron Ashby and Abner Uribe to have to come in the 5th or 6th inning to be able to be a fireman. And you should be able to back up that bullpen a little bit better because you're getting some longer starts by one of the best guys in the game.
Yeah, man, it is tantalizing to think of a playoff rotation with Miz, Skubal, Harrison, especially if one of those guys loses effectiveness or loses health or something happens and you have the depth there, and obviously you have the other guys that the Brewers been rolling with. It's definitely tantalizing. You talk about all the guys, all the teams too that could use him, and I think on that list too is the Tigers, and I think that's what's interesting about this is they've won 4 in a row. If I told you right now who the best run differential in the American League Central is, it's the Tigers. I'm not sure that they're totally sold on being a seller all of a sudden.
I'm not either.
With the way they've
the AL is so bad, but
it's just the AL Central. But
they could still. But the thing is, if they get somebody back, they could still win without Skubal.
That's a good point.
Oh
too.
yeah, I mean they competed
point.
with a large portion of the year. They had to play a large portion of the year without him because of his injury,
and they're playing better without him. So it's not just Skubal, obviously, but I think that would be an interesting twist in this whole deal because now the White Sox are leading the Central. I think they're 2 or 3 above 500. I'm not sure anyone really believes that's going to last, but in that division, it could. You could win 84 games and win the Central or 83. So I think that's the other factor in this is what they're going to do, what they're going to decide to do down the stretch. I still think it'd be kind of organizational malpractice not to move him just because of what you could get for him. And like you said, still try and compete anyway. But it's just a little an interesting twist in the trade market when you look at what American League teams are looking at themselves saying, are we a contender or not? And what does it take to be a contender?
No, it's just soreness. It's not an IL stint yet. Very much could. We don't necessarily know. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's a break in here. Say it does result, Drew. Next week, right around Wednesday, when everyone starts getting back in, start ramping up, Rumlin's come out. Yeah, he's going to hit the IL for a couple of weeks. Would that to you incentivize or make them feel more pressured to add multiple arms or the one big fish?
I think they're looking at multiple anyway.
For sure. Oh, I'm with you on that. I think they're scouting that out.
I got my eyes on a guy, a main guy, and then like the secondary guy, the Gio Gonzalez guy, the Michael Wacha type guy.
It's a good name.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, Michael Wacha, 35, pitching for the Royals. Go get him.
He's controllable next year too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You get him for a year, veteran. Like he's been through some stuff. Like that'd be the guy. The wing
Armen might also be available, but I mean, if you're talking about the AL Central, the Twins somehow are ahead of the Tigers in those standings, and that might be harder for them to peel them off.
So JT, the wingman in Knoxville via Sussex, said, "Did you watch the game last night? If Sal's playing, they win that game. His Gold Glove right fielding prevents any runs from scoring in the first inning. Lara's defensive inexperience was exposed last night. If you want to win it all, you need the Gold Glove." And JT, I don't know about that, man.
Yeah,
first of all, the Brewers did nothing on offense.
Yeah, you can't,
irrespective
win
of
with anything.
the deficit in the first inning. Like they did nothing all night. It was like they scored one run.
Well,
like they're not going to win many, and they weren't going to win 1-0. And it's the butterfly effect, and it does change the course of the game. But Harrison still might have done a 4. Maybe he does a 5 and dive instead of a 4 and dive.
Right.
He's got elbow soreness, and they weren't going to touch the Cardinal. They didn't touch the Cardinal starter all night. You're not going to win when Churio and Contreras go 0-for with a bunch of punch outs. Like, it was just not their night, right?
Top 4 in your lineup had one combined hit.
And Frelick, big picture, love the glove for sure, but I also want more than 3 homers out of right field.
Well, and the other thing about
called me crazy, and maybe Lara's not that power guy, but he's rangy, athletic, and he will play good defense, and he will run the bases like Sal does. And he's 21 and not 27.
No, and you have 7 years on him, right? Like, I mean, you got 7 years in guaranteed cash on it. That's the other part of it. And he also, if I'm not mistaken, this is his first, most of his experience in the minors was playing in center. So there's something different to that. But Mitchell's been so good in center that your defensive outfield with Churio, Lara, and Mitchell, that's a hell of a front. I get that Frelick's got some pelts on the wall,
but Frelick play center in the minor leagues too.
I was going to say, I think all of them ended up dancing around.
They all did, but
sure, you can
all play
bunch
all
in
three,
center
but
for sure.
It is different. Like right field's got that slice to it, and it's a little bit different, like especially with right-handed batters.
Oh, for sure. In your second major league game,
I also think there's an outdated view of. I mean, Sal won a Gold Glove 2 years ago, but since then his defense hasn't been the same. It just hasn't. I mean, he's had a negative defensive WAR. Now, however you like that stat, that's fine. He crashes.
I just don't know how they make it.
His rookie year, he made no errors. And it was like 1,000 fielding percentage. So that was pretty pristine. And that wasn't the year he won a Gold Glove. He probably could have.
The second year, just like Yelich early in his career did. But as time went on, people didn't look at his defense anything special. I like Sal.
Yeah, Yelich won a Gold Glove, and people are like, how did that happen?
Yeah, people questioned how on earth.
And I wonder
who was playing left field.
Sal still crashes walls and stuff like that. But I don't think his defensive impact's been the same since. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to do it, but I don't know. I think that's where people are emotionally attached to what they think Sal is, but the reality is he kind of it is a fourth outfielder. You talk about they would have won with Sal. I don't believe that either, but I think some people feel that way or think that way. So you might listen, Billy. I think I would do that deal with Sal also personally because I don't feel the same way about Sal. A lot of people do. I just don't know how people would react to it, but we had the talent to deal with it.
Trade.
Yeah, again, like I'm
not the hater trade.
I'm hung up on the fact that you're putting Josh Hader next to Sal Frelick. Like that's
the same. I don't think their impact's the same.
No. So the trade, there are some fans who would be bummed because Sal's a popular player.
Yeah, and they got number 10 jerseys, and you have to explain it to the youngster. Yeah. But you'll figure it out.
There would be a lot of fans, and I'll say maybe more casual, that would look and say, "You are not serious about winning if you trade."
No, they're not.
Sal Frelick.
This angers me because this is insulting to Brewers fans.
Well,
what you're saying then is that you don't understand what you just got back. You just got back one of the 3 best pitchers in the game, unquestioned for the last 4 years, who's won the Cy Young back-to-back seasons.
Okay, I hope you're right. I hope you're right because I believe that. I agree with you on that. It'd be exciting to have Tarik Skubal and say, okay, great. We have
the other part of the Hader deal that also gets very quietly forgotten about when you're talking about how the bad reaction to it was. The other question was, wait, so you just traded for one of the guys and then you cut him 24 hours later. Like there was a lot of waxy buildup, and Taylor Rogers came in and stunk. Like if indeed the second best closer in the game when they acquired him,
better it would have been
a whole lot different deal. But he came in was brutal.
If he was what he should have been, or what
he was in the first half of that year, his numbers were pretty close and pretty comparable to what Hader had put up.
And that's always the danger too of trading for rentals. It's like you get excited thinking this could be the CC, but there have been a lot of guys, and you mentioned it, Drew, during the segment. There are a lot of guys that didn't come through the Baez, even Suarez.
Skubal's not going to be a Jonathan Scope.
Hope not.
Nope.
Like, I mean, there's certain players that you can tell they're gonna get the opportunity. I mean, look at what he did in that playoff game last year when he walked into Cleveland and just laid it out on the table. After they came back on 13, 14 games. They said, excuse us. Yeah. We're going to win this quick 3-game series and get up out of here.
But with the outfielders you have and you think you're going to have, the Brewers really don't need Sal. I mean, he's you like having him, but you don't need him,
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's something you got to wrap your brain around. 877-794-1973. is the NicoletLaw.com talk text. And we're going to hear Hunter Baumgart's recap of last night's kind of lackluster game at Busch Stadium. And Hunter joins us live today at 7:25. Get his thoughts. He's a Sal Frelick fan, but everything's on the table when you're trying to win a damn World Series.
Trying to win the World Series, man.
And if you trade him, people might be mad. If you win the World Series, Sal who?
Yeah, I think we'll forget about it.
That's the thing.
No, they'll go back in 30 years.
We'll give him a standing ovation when he comes back if you win the series.
Right. He'll get a ring. In 30 years, people will think he was on that team during the
just
World
like
Series.
Aaron Savali would have gotten a ring last year and a standing ovation.
Hey, best thing he did was bring us Andrew Vaughn.
Just like 4% of Packer fans realized Paul Hornung and Jim Taylor weren't on the Ice Bowl team.
That's it.
But you don't think when you go back in history and look at it, you're not going to remember that.
Yep. Yeah. All right. We're off and running. We love our 5 o'clock clubbers. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. This portion of the program brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Love those guys in Brookfield. There's all kinds of clinics around the area. Find one near you. Sign up for the no-obligation consult and get started. See how they can improve your life as they're doing for thousands. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. I didn't realize I kicked a hornet's nest. I know Sal's a popular player. I just threw it out there as a possibility because in order to get something, you got to give something. And giving up a guy who's an established major league starter on a established really good team and has a Gold Glove on his resume would be an attractive piece. And I think that's one of the Brewers of the current guys who contribute. You're not trading Contreras.
No.
Right? You're not trading Vaughn.
Mm-mm.
Like there's
definitely not trading
there
Bowers.
There would be a lot of juice for like a David Hamilton, who's a valuable piece and a utility guy. So like
that's why I thought Williams kind of made a lot of sense.
Well, let's say someone has their eye on Garrett Mitchell. Mm-hmm. You want to trade him? He's young, cheap, controllable, has been hurt a lot, but he looks like he could emerge. Like that would be on the table too. I think if someone said they want him because he's a former first-round pick. So Sal.
Sure. Yep. So is Sal, and both of them are
first-round picks, and you got kind of a glut of outfield talent, but
they're both arbitration eligible in 27. Sal technically a free agent 30 instead of 29 for Mitchell. I think Sal is probably a more attractive trade piece because of the lack of injury history. However, I think the on-field production, the play, more people be tantalized by what Mitchell could possibly do into the next couple
years. I
totally
agree with that.
Sal's a character guy. We know he's got a great rep, sterling rep. So that's it. And I'm not saying that I don't like him or that you can't win with him because they clearly can. But you got to give something up to get something.
This is the difficult part of like in different sports I know, but the Jaylen Brown conversation where yes, I understand it is difficult and has to be difficult hearing your name be attached to conversations. But there's also a level of cachet, I think, and credit that you can take as the player saying,
people want me.
They're throwing my name around in trade conversations. For a dude that won back-to-back Cy Youngs. For a guy that won 2 MVPs if you're Jaylen Brown. So there's a lot worse conversations that you could be a part of.
Exactly. I know that there's that element of it because guys would be like, well, why don't they want to keep me? They don't want to keep you. The flip side of that, somebody else wants you.
Somebody else wants you bad, 100%.
You know? It's a compliment.
It is. That's the flip of it.
Well, 877-794-1973. Janie and Appleton said, Drew, no, not Sal. I would hate to see him go. Would that be a major clubhouse shakeup? We'll see, right? Leaving for Pittsburgh in the morning as they drive out to go see the Crew. Go Crew, Janie and Appleton, number 15.
Jan, I hope they give you better shows than they did last night because last night was a show about nothing.
That was a tough one.
But that guy shoved. It's like there's one of those nights where that guy, he might give up 10 in his next start, but he shoved last night, and you just tip your cap and move on to the next day. That's baseball. You have days like that.
That's the Mike McGreevy. This is a little big league reference. That's the Mike McGreevy that showed up after Billy Haywood had to talk with him. If you know a little big league, okay? Mike McGreevy, the starter in that movie. That's as much as I'll go with that reference.
There we go.
I just think it's funny because if there are some people that'll still look you in the eye and say the downfall of the Bucks was trading Drew Holiday after we all witnessed what Jimmy Butler did to him in that playoff run. Like I thought we all were kind of on board saying, okay, Drew's time is done being a second piece on a contender or a third piece. But there are still people now looking
fourth
back.
Piece.
Okay, yeah,
for the Bucks.
Okay, we can argue that. I think you probably have a good point there.
Middleton, Lopez, and him.
Obviously, Lopez is a factor too. So, but like people will still look at you and say, "Well, we never should have traded Drew. See what happened when we traded Drew for Dame, and never should." It's like you obviously try that. You after what happened with Drew, and you obviously try and make that move for a guy like Dame. I don't think there's any question, but people will still look at it and say that was the emotional hit and the emotional toll for the Bucks. I don't believe it, but I just think people will still believe that. So if something does go wrong, that move would be kind of blamed for. But listen, you got to take your shots too. What happens if you sit around saying, well, we lost to the Dodgers again in the playoffs, but maybe Tarik Skubal would have taken us over the top. And Sal went, I don't know, like 3 for 20 in the series anyway. You know what I mean? So that's the decisions that keep you up as night as a GM and you're Matt Arnold and things like
Jeffrey in Milwaukee. That hurts me to my core to hear Salvatore being named in a trade package for Skubal, but I would accept it, but also curse it. So at least I like the duality where that is. I think Jeffrey has the right thought. That would hurt. That would feel. But the best packages on both sides, both teams think that they gave up too much.
That's right.
Right? That's generally when it's a good trade on both sides.
That's right. And you're attached to the guys you've seen in the big leagues. Like no one knows about Luis Pena or Jet Williams. Like they're not as attached. Like those are just okay. Well, yeah, get rid of anybody in the minor leagues. Well, no.
Yeah.
Like I
well,
said,
like that's where I hear
Mate
Braylon Payne. Like all due respect to the Lawrence E high school product. I am thinking back, like, dude, all due respect to what we got going on in Houston, Texas. I'm not that worried about the 19-year-old, but he could turn out to be, as a former first-round pick, better than the other two outfielders that we just mentioned that were first-round picks in Garrett Mitchell and Sal Frelick. But you haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Troy on YouTube, is Vaughn possibly up for grabs with Bowers not being able to play every day in outfield now? I kind of don't understand
Is Vaughn what?
Is Vaughn possibly up for grabs with Bowers? Well, you have to look at Vaughn as an option against.
I don't know. Does Vaughn have value? Like, what do you mean? Like for trading Andrew Vaughn?
I think that's what he means. Possibly up for grabs.
I mean, he doesn't have the value that a Sal Frelick would have.
Right. I agree with that.
Nick in West Bend, I'm just happy the man of the people, Armen, was proven right that people will be mad. How would you not see that, Billy? I get that you'd be I can't fathom, though, you being to the point where you'd be too busy upset about the package.
You'd be too busy driving to the team store to buy a Skubal jersey.
Thank you.
Like the funny thing is, I wouldn't be that mad. That's the funniest thing to me is I wouldn't be that mad. I've never had the emotional pull to Sal.
No, you've despised the guy since he came up in 22.
Well, he's my twin brother, but yeah, I don't have despised him, but that's funny. Yeah. But there are some people that would, but the Skubal thing would. Especially if he crushed, like if he had the type of year that CC did, he'd be out. It would be out of our memories quick. It'd be like, thank you, Sal, but we had to level up. We had to get to the next girl.
Sure, the Brewers would rather trade like a lower level Brock Wilkin. The third
for sure you would. Yes,
you'd rather trade, but you got to give something to get something, especially if you're. Skubal's the top of the market. Like you got to give something up.
Well, right? that's the sort of
and the swing the Brewers took. People forget because it was the Brewers. Clearly won the trade, but Michael Brantley played great for Cleveland.
Yeah, two-time All-Star.
That's a good point.
And Matt Laporta, though, the Brewers gave up what they thought was Prince Fielder's replacement in waiting. They thought he was going to be the guy because they weren't going to be able to afford Prince, and he was going to be next. And he turned out not to be.
And he was looked at as a lower risk guy.
Michael Brantley turned out to be an all-star guy who had a pretty good career, and so Cleveland got that out of it. And the Brewers got obviously some, otherworldly performances out of CC that catapulted them to their first playoff berth in 25 years.
Yeah,
Brewers are in a different strata right now. Now the Brewers are playoffs is the baseline, and now we got to go further and we got to win the damn series.
And this is why you're trying to grab him. This is what he did last year in the playoffs. Game 1 on the road at Cleveland, 7 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, walked 3, struck out 14 Guardians. Then the game 2 start in the DS against the Mariners, 7 innings, 2 runs, 5 hits, 9 Ks. And then in a decisive game 5 that ended up going, hold on one sec, check notes, 15 innings. 15 innings as to why the Mariners moved on. 1 because of him, 6 innings, 1 run ball, struck out 13 members of the Seattle Ball Club last year in a decisive game 5 on the road. Like you're making the move to be able to pitch like that in Dodger Stadium, that way in Citizens Bank, and he would be the dude that would then immediately. You can say that Miz can start game 1, and then Tarik Skubal starting game 2, and I feel pretty confident that you're winning game 2.
That's right. Yeah.
Like that is a move that tips all of the scales in the National League, and there's another reason. The way you mentioned it, Drew, everybody else can be trying to get him as well.
There was an A's team in and I think it's 14, maybe it's 15, but 14. They had the best record in baseball at the break, and then they were like, we have to make this move and their best hitter was Cespedes, I think, and they went for John Lester, and they were never the same after that. And I don't know if that's the reason, but I think a lot of people were corollary on that. They said ever since you rocked the boat on the best team in baseball, you were never the same, and then they lost the wild card game, I think. So I don't think that's a great example, but I do think there are some examples of cautionary tales where if you are rolling so well, which the Brewers are, I mean, they have one of the best records in baseball right now. Do you want to rock the boat that much and trade major league players and not just prospects? Because I don't think trading prospects is as much rocking a boat to like what the major league club is doing. Now, I don't want to compare Sal either to Cespedes because he was like the best slugger on that roster when they traded him. But I just think of all these examples of, you can't see the future. You're just trying to project it with the decisions. You're trying to project it with the process. So Well, is it better to sit pat and just make moves around the edges and not? Or have we done that enough and say we got to go for something harder now because we've been to the playoffs every few times?
And maybe I'm overstating the contract part, but I think they've already projected.
Yeah.
Right. Like when somebody gets 7 years and 31 million guaranteed before they lace up big league cleats, I think they've projected and I think they've shown what they're going to do and who profiles as one of the longer term guys. That would be the other reason why I think you'd be more expendable, Drew. And maybe it hurts his value in the negotiation. I think he'd be the most fascinating trade piece. Him and Garrett Mitchell, 1-2, 1A, 1B, would be the most fascinating guys on a negotiating table.
Yeah.
Because you could prop them up as quickly as you could shoot down the tower that you're building them up on very, very quickly. It'd be very fascinating to hear how both sides would talk about those assets.
The Brewers put together a package of like 5 guys for Aroldis Chapman and Sonny Gray.
Yeah, you could really go hard at some of these ideas. Like,
if I'm Craig Breslow, I'm hanging up the phone. I'm hanging up the phone. I'm like, you are trying to get me fired, Matthew. You're trying to get me fired, but I would love it. Wilson Contreras in there too. Why not?
What, the Sophie meme or what was that? No, not him. I'm not doing that again. Pointing like we're not trading with him. I don't care what kind of sorcery you're trying.
That 414 number gets here. Block it.
It's like how many times like don't eat the apple. Like she's giving you the apple. Don't eat the
right,
apple.
But it's
again.
tasty.
But Derek and Whitewater, I think, is a good point. We may be in first now, but who will the Cubs get? And that's the thing. You have to anticipate the arms race, and you guys were talking about that.
There's no doubt. You got to be at the top of the market right here. They got to be aggressive because you have the assets. You can do it. It's just a matter of just picking the right fit. So. Matt Arnold, and it's so unfair that this is happening like while they're grinding on the draft. It's just so bad that the MLB's calendar is so screwed up.
I just don't get it, Drew.
Yeah,
I mean, we roast the NCAA calendar.
Yeah.
But this is just as bad.
This is bad.
I mean, this is brutal.
It's like having, free agency, they have the draft and then free agency or free agency, then the draft.
Well, I think I did hear the NFL converting the NFL draft to mid-November. I did think I heard that was what they were possibly going to start doing.
Classic. All right, we're off and running. When we come back, we're going to hear Hunter Baumgart's recap of last night's lackluster, flatulent performance by the Brewers, and we'll look ahead to tonight's game, series finale, and then Hunter joins us live at 7:25. We'll get his thoughts about what he loves him some Sal Frelick.
I was going to say, I think Hunter is going to stew on this one for a little while.
That's right. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Thursday. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Takes a village to put on this program, and one of our key contributors in this little village of ours is Hunter Baumgardt, who covers the Brewers for us home and away and provides updates for us. He's going to join us live at 7:25 as we're starting to already, because last night's game was so flat that it gets you daydreaming about, and not only the flat.
I do like that we did this though. Yes,
but it's also that Kyle Harrison's been great, but he's got elbow soreness, and Woodruff looks like I'm putting him in the done club, man. I'm done. Like,
well,
I don't think he's coming back to pitch meaningful innings for the Brewers this year because
it was new injury to the capsule area,
injury to the anterior capsule that sidelined him, and it looks like this might be it.
Yeah, the only capsule we're looking for out of him is a time capsule, and I don't think that's happening.
Exactly. And I love Brandon Woodruff as much as everybody else does,
love him,
but
dude.
I just don't think he's going to throw another pitch for the Brewers this year. So they need start that
man couldn't make it to bobblehead.
Increases the urgency for the Brewers, and I thought they needed at least one, if not two, starting arms anyway. So we'll get to that with Hunter later, but let's throw it right now. Hunter Baumgardt and his recap brought to us by Import Minded. Hunter, take it away.
Thanks, guys. The Brewers fall 5-1 to the Cardinals last night. It's their first loss against the Cardinals since early May. And Kyle Harrison with another short start. He goes just 4 innings. Brewers manager Pat Murphy after the game saying he had a little soreness in his arm, and you can see he's clearly fatigued as, of course, the All-Star break is near. That was his last start before the All-Star break, but they don't think he's injured, but they can see that the first half has kind of worn on him a little bit, so they didn't want to risk anything and took him out after 4 innings. He was roughed up a little bit in those 4 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. And then, of course, the 2-run homer late by the Cardinals put it at a 5-0 lead. Then the Brewers rallied a little bit. Vaughn was up with 2 men on. He was pinch hitting. They, of course, could have went to Bryce Terang there, but Brewers manager Pat Murphy said he was trying to get Bryce Terang a full day off. Hasn't had a day off in a while. Played both games of the doubleheader yesterday, so gave him the day off. Would expect him to be back in the lineup tonight for the series finale. Brewers trying to take 4 out of 5 at Busch Stadium. Against the Cardinals. Luis Lara made a nice diving catch, was busy early in that game, took a tough one off the face as well, but got another hit as well, and Cooper Pratt looks to be finding it a little bit at the plate. Of course, Mitchell stayed hot too. Ortiz was on with a double, and Yelich got on base a couple of times last night as well. So some positives despite the loss. And the Brewers with Logan Henderson returning from the IL tonight. He'll take the mound. 6:45 first pitch. I'll have you for the baseball pregame show at 5:30. On Fox Sports 920 and our social channels. This report brought to you by Import Minded, your trusted choice for exceptional vehicle care on South 27th, just north of 894. I'll talk to you guys more about the crew at 7:25. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Hunter. Very well done, as always.
Yeah, and you see the amount of conversation online. Joe O said Sal should not be untouchable. My man Troy on Twitter, in response to would you include Sal Frelick in a trade package for Tarik Skubal, Troy said yes, and I'd pay for his Uber to the airport. The other thing, like this, so there's a number of different ways. I think there's some Brewers fans that are feeling more like our friend Janie, who said no, don't think about that, and then there's others that said I can't wait to see him, like our friend Derek in Whitewater. Adios, Sal. So this is and he also isn't. It's not the headliner of the package. Would he be? Like the package that Drew mentioned to start out was Braylon Payne, first round pick from a year ago or 2 years ago. I think a year ago. He's in low A ball or high A ball right now with the Timber Rattlers. 19 years old,
20,
but raking so far in A ball. Good. Logan Henderson coming off the IL as well, and Sal Frelick. And I think both teams might say that's too much or not enough on the Tigers side. They would want more. Brewers probably wouldn't want to give up more. Henderson might be the most appealing one, and who knows, him and Coleman Crow, a race to get back and see who can get off the injured list to get some innings in here, because you're in a spot where you desperately need some.
If Coleman Crow gets back in pitching, like, he could be a name that you hear thrown in a trade.
Could be.
So yeah, it's like you got to explore every avenue, man.
The other one that I think is interesting, Greg on the YouTube comment said, Rays or Brewers, no other wants to answer that call when you end up on the other side of the trade. However, I think the Rays and Brewers are probably the two teams that Major League Baseball is watching in this one, because both of them would have the ammunition to make the move and still feel like they're okay.
Grabbing somebody from the Brewers farm system at this juncture would seem like a good move because they have a pretty good farm system and
like
they have
the guys
producing a lot of players.
Yeah, it seems like a good system play, as they say.
Exactly. Yeah. Well done, Armen. Well done.
It just seems like, I mean, like the way they're doing it. And it's funny, I just saw Caleb making a top 10 play last night. His numbers have gotten better and better as the year went on. So that's been better for the Reds. So even a guy like him who's been looked at by a failure, settling in close to 700 OPS now. His WAR's up around 2. So nice to see Caleb doing it. So Brewers prospects and talent have been doing it. There's no question.
Baseball's the long view, man. It's like you can look horrible for a month or two and then, you'd end up regression.
And now all of a sudden in the month of July, for the week that we've been in July, Joey Ortiz looks like the best player on the team.
Good point. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Since Cooper Pratt came up, he's reborn. Now he's a major league player.
I'm calling him the weapon now.
The weapon.
He's the weapon.
Oh my
Off the bench.
That's a classic.
Sort of.
All right. We are off and running. Having some fun on a Thursday, chopping it up. We'll have Dolph join us at 6:25. Hunter Baumgardt at 7:25. We're settled in today. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. The Brewers were looking to stay red hot against the Red Birds until this rainmaker happened.
Burleson hammers one to right. This is back and gone. Another extra base hit, another home run for St. Louis.
Jeff Levering on the play-by-play on Brewers TV. That moonshot took the wind out of whatever sale the Brewers brought into Busch last night. Kind of a lackluster 5-1 loss to the Cardinals. The series finale is tonight starting at 6:45. Logan Henderson will pitch against Andre Pallante. The Brewers do lose some ground in the division as well.
High fly ball, left field. That's back on its way and out of here. Seiya Suzuki, a 3-run homer, and the Cubs have opened up a 9-3 advantage.
The Cubs beat the Orioles 9-7. The Brewers lead sits at 6 games. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get out now, and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God, this man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Cutting and cracking on a Thursday in the good land. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen. We thank everybody from the 5 o'clock club for giving us juice for the first hour of the program. But
Yes.
now we welcome people who arise at 6 a.m. You might be an insomniac, an early riser, a sociopath. At least you weren't waiting in the vestibule for the health club to open, but you're getting your day started right now with a cup of Joe, maybe a little nicotine hit.
I was gonna say maybe a little Benjamin Franklin waking you up in the morning, and listen, then you're off and running and ready to dominate a Friday Junior here, Drew.
That's right. It is Friday Junior, start of Bastille Days, weather permitting in Milwaukee tonight. We're looking at some showers through the area. It's going to be a nice weekend, though.
That might be better to run through, right? Like a little like nice cold rain shower. I guess I'm not a runner anymore, and I would have been wondering if there would have been a sweet way that I could like cut the path in half, like I used to on the we used to call them the jungle runs.
All you got to do is come to like the public market, the Palapa. It's like on the course, and people can run by and just like, I'm halfway into the race. I'm done. I'm going to go get a beer.
I like that one better. Yeah, that's probably what I do.
Patrick usually hands out like Miller Lite shorties to people and stuff like that.
Once I found the ability to the old pacer race in school, the testing deal where beep and then you had to run to the other end. I just like very quietly just sat back. Hard for me to blend in anywhere. But if I could just wait until they came back right around like 65, then I could run a couple, throw some water on my face, and get a personal record. So I'm definitely in on being able to do that for the Bastille Days run. I'm not against trying to shorten that thing up just to be able to get the social capital because the pictures live forever.
You guys were in the route, You guys were probably in the No Child Left Behind and all that when they started shaving gym class. And I remember I remember being shocked that my daughter when she finished high school, like in gym class, like you didn't have to shower afterwards. That was always a thing. Like they forced everybody to shower.
Yep.
Junior high and high school.
I was probably the last. I'd have been in the last grouping of the showering after gym class for sure.
I'm old enough, and they're bringing it back. They had the presidential fitness test, the physical fitness test and you'd get like a badge if you,
I remember
if
that.
you could do it. And then
Okay.
they got rid of that. Now apparently they're bringing it back.
What is it? What would I have had to accomplish? Because I
here we
definitely
go.
this one I had not been a part of.
Here we go. Created in 1956 under Dwight Eisenhower, championed over the years by President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, Physical Ed. The original program was phased out in 2013 in favor of the Presidential Youth Fitness Program, which focused on less competitive evaluation. The old Presidential Physical Fitness says it was like girls had to do the flexed arm hang, boys had to do pull-ups. You had to do a certain amount of sit-ups,
curl-ups, and then the 1 mile run, or like the beep run. Remember
Yeah, the
that?
pacer test. Okay,
Yeah,
so
pacer
ours.
test.
So we did the pacer test. I think we did the mile run maybe until like 4th grade, and shockingly, I didn't complete.
There was a 20-meter beep test or the 1 mile timed run.
Yep.
It was like plank holds or sit-ups.
Okay.
And then it was like flexed arm hang and pull-ups.
So we definitely did this throughout the time. Then
you had to climb a rope.
The rope. I did the rope.
We didn't do the rope.
That was scary. I mean, it was super embarrassing if you couldn't do it in front of all those girls in gym class. Let me tell you, that was the other thing. I mean, I got like, Vince Amaro over here doing 10 pull-ups, 12 pull-ups, and I'm struggling to get my second one up in there. I'm like, listen, I have other skills, believe me. But it was hard to convince people in that moment. Then you're trying to run up this rope, wrap it around your legs, worried about falling. I mean, gym class was a wild ride for a while.
Yeah, we never had the rope. We would definitely do the pull-ups, and that was another one that is a pear shape. That was a difficult one as a youth.
I remember here it was for at the end running a mile. You had to do as many sit-ups as possible in 60 seconds.
I could do that.
Pull-ups or push-ups. That was dealer's choice for the teacher.
Oh, okay.
A sit and reach test, the flexibility test. Where you had to sit and reach.
Dominated the sit
and then
reach.
there was a shuttle
worst.
run.
I was the worst in my class at sit and reach. I had no flexibility, but that was a good time though. I just also remember the epitome of the 90s, finishing the mile run at Greenfield Middle School, and it was like 97, and there being free cherry Cokes for everybody at the end because the cherry.
Wow. That's tremendous. All right.
The Coke marketing truck came and just emptied the semi truck, and I'm like, this is awesome. We got free cherry Coke and recess. It wasn't recess, it was gym.
Health food.
Yeah,
gym
it
class.
was like
some juice.
It was like, you guys, we got to start eating healthier. Everyone, we're gonna put a Fruitopia machine or Fruitworks.
Don't
Remember
worry,
those?
Juicy Juice is now
Yeah.
sponsoring the school.
And like how many grams of added sugar that must have had. But you know what? Hey, we loved it. We loved it back in the
That
day.
Juicy Juice, 100% juice for 100% kids.
Oh my gosh.
They had me hook, line, and sinker. I was buying that thing by the half gallon, just tossing it into my mom's grocery cart every time.
Absolutely. You couldn't have a soda in class, but you could have an Ecto Cooler. Like, you remember what I'm saying?
Man.
You could have a Kool-Aid Cool Burst.
I remember after football practice or basketball practice, treat myself. They had a soda machine in the locker room, and it was like a quarter. And you just go grab, and I would go grab that grape soda on the way out. And it was like the sweetest, most delicious thing because you're all dehydrated and stuff. That was back in the days when they didn't let you have many water breaks and stuff, and not everybody carried a water bottle around at all times.
For sure. Yep.
It was so good, man. Especially after like 2-a-days in the summer.
Oh.
In your day, not everything was branded, right, Drew? I mean, there was brands, but it was like
it was probably Jolly Good or something.
or Grafts.
Yeah,
or
Grafts or
Wildwood. Remember Wildwood?
Yes.
We used to order soda by the color. It wasn't what flavor do you want.
purple.
I want blue. I want
That's the way
purple.
people looked at Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that's the way it
Purple.
was.
But that was bliss.
I like knowing that they're bringing the presidential fitness test back because
just even gym class in general, because they've gotten away from it.
100%. You're not lying about that.
I remember, but I remember the units were like, you had square dancing was one. We had to do
we did
square
that.
dancing.
Yes, we did that.
We did.
It was weird.
We did juggling as one of our gym class units.
Come on now.
Well, it's definitely hand-eye coordination. And I'll tell you, I have not juggled until now having kids, where I'll try to do anything to keep those kids entertained. So me throwing the ball up and hitting myself in the face, that works.
They'll be laughing.
They got a good one out of that. Jump roping was always a big one.
Oh, yes.
And then I remember Miss Moulton's gym class. I thought it was the dumbest thing of all time that we were doing bowling. However, it might have been one of the cooler units possible with the little big old air-filled rubber ball.
The bouncers.
My favorite was
the
the floor hockey in the gym with the plastic sticks and the plastic puck.
And we had like a big tennis ball type thing for floor hockey.
Felt like I was dangling like Gretzky.
Oh, you're right, Tyson people up.
Yeah. The cool thing about, I remember doing bowling in elementary school, but I remember they would bring the carpet, and it was like a carpet alley, and then the bowling ball that was rubber. But I always thought it was because we were close to classic lanes. on Layton. So I always thought that was just what we
just had to get everyone ready for Wednesday nights.
I was like, I don't think everybody did that, but this is like, even in my youth, I remember thinking, oh wow, they're trying to get us signed up for bowling when we get older, and like we would all get a free bowling game coupon. I'm like, this is some brilliant marketing, but that's just the way it was. But this was all just kind of like time in between waiting for like basketball unit or like the ones you really wanted to
I remember
play.
We had swimming and you had to wear like the standard issue. They handed you the suit to wear. You wear your own suit.
See, they let us wear a suit,
and it was like
our
all the
suits.
suits in my era were like from, you watch the old like 1950s black and white Tarzan with Johnny Weissmuller. Like that's what the suits looked like. It was bad.
So you got
issued
issued
bad look.
So the district issued you suits.
Yeah, they handed you a suit.
That's
like,
crazy.
And then you just
we had
you had to take it off and throw it in a bin, and then they'd wash them and have them for the next class or something.
I remember. Go ahead.
We did the towel bin. That was the close, right, where they would supply the towels, and Coach Biff would hand them out. Scratchy. Actually, not too bad. Scratchy, and just enjoy that part of it. And we had the full school sponsored uniform, but we didn't have to do the suit. I do remember though them offering it. Like I remember it being, if you guys don't have a swimsuit,
we'll offer one.
We do have some in the back that we can find. They might have some cobwebs on them, but we will have some. So that's not going to be an excuse.
Now they let they had us just wear our own and bring our own towels. Even we didn't have school issued gym.
So what'd you do with the wet towel?
That was the thing. We would hang them in the locker, and the idea was you were supposed to take them home. But that's my thing. I'm like, should these wet little things be just hanging here? But I don't think they had like the infrastructure after they stopped doing it, the gym class thing, after a time to care about that. Like I remember specifically in middle school, our gym teacher saying, all you boys are required to at least take 30-second showers, and he would like pretend to time it with like I'm not even kidding you. Like he would time it and stuff like 30-second shower, guys, 30-second shower, everybody in, everybody out. Yeah. And he would say, hey, everybody, they're like noses. We've all got some. They're all the same.
They're all the same. They're nothing good.
But then I think that faded away. So maybe in the mid 2000s or to your era, Billy, the early 2010s is when it changed. I don't know. I think they just kind of gave up and they were worried.
Yeah, it changed pretty quickly, I think, after I was out of school.
They were probably worried about people being more litigious too. And like saying like, oh, so-and-so is looking at my kids. And like, I don't know. I think that's what they're worried about, lawsuits and things like that. With anything awkward, so they're like, all right, we're just not gonna
They were worried about the slip and slides?
Where does that, yeah, maybe that was, exactly.
There was a big old pool right there in the middle.
In the shower, everyone just fly through.
Oh, my junior high school, that was like 3 showers a day. You had to shower in the morning before school, after gym class, and then after practice.
After practice tonight.
So it was like 3 a day at least.
Yeah, and I was putting it in. I was doing every single one of them.
the
Yes,
world.
100%.
It was a weird day though to go from stuff like that to like just the English class, like the next hour
with your hair wet.
Like just as like what? Oh boy, I was climbing ropes. Had to try and pull ups. People screaming at you, jumping in the pool.
Yeah, now try being the try hard fat kid.
Yeah,
I didn't stop sweating for 3 periods, even though I took a shower. People are like, dude, you bring an extra change of clothes.
I remember
the shower didn't take.
I think they had like. I think one unit in gym class was like a jogging unit or something, and it's like you were able to beg off of it if you had a basketball game that night or like a track meet or something. It's like, okay, you're okay, you don't have to. You can
enjoy over here, sure.
So you can just go stand over here
and then
do some stretching or something,
And then your
do
dad,
some more sit and reaches.
Your dad, your grandpa would tell you the story. We had a guy always tell us the story when we talked about this years ago on one of our airwaves, that they would have to swim naked at MPS in like the 40s or the 50s.
Oh yeah,
that's the thing. Oh yeah,
I just still can't believe that they would like in a public school have people.
Well, I mean, they also walk to school uphill both ways.
Yeah,
but no, the gym class one actually happened. No, they didn't have to walk naked.
No.
Janney and Appleton, I hated that PT test. I had no upper body strength and couldn't climb that stupid rope. I remember Mr. Pickett trying to quote unquote help me by literally pushing me up to get me up on the rope by my backside. 60 plus years later, I still remember it. Janney and Appleton, just trying to help.
One thing I do remember is in junior high, like the first day of gym class, the guy, you'd be in your uniform, you'd be in a line, and he would like he'd inspect your feet for plantar's warts and stuff for athlete's foot and stuff. I'm like, this dude had a foot thing, man.
How embarrassing.
So
That's just
everybody in a line, like 30 kids, you had to sit and like raise your feet up, and he had to like inspect your feet.
Oh, geez.
That's like the lice inspection.
That's like, like a head lice
inspection.
Kids,
oh yeah, 100%. That was
now you look back and go.
I was so
it's funny how you look back in adulthood and it's like, man, we always had We always had. I loved Fridays during school because we had movies. I think they bring in movies or stuff, and now I realized the teacher was hungover because he was out on Thursday.
Yeah, 100%. A wheel in the cart.
Yeah,
the cart.
I need a couple of. I need a couple
teachers.
periods.
And then I realized Thursday was double bubble night, or it was like
triple cripple night over here. Yeah, 100%.
So they were out, and now I realize, that's why we had such an easy day on Friday because the teachers were hung like a championship banner.
You start learning a whole lot more. Ace and Waukesha. Wait, so back in the 40s, that's when Naked and Afraid really started.
I don't know, man. I don't
pretty
believe
much.
It. I've said this before. I still, unless I get proof, but then again, I don't want proof. I still don't believe it. I don't want to see
until
proof.
it was like
proof
all the way to the 90s. Like the Milwaukee Athletic Club had a men's pool where dudes would swim naked and then get out and like eat a sandwich naked on the side of the
isn't that
hanging out, dude? Yes, 100%.
Isn't that like unsanitary? Like I get,
I
100% is.
Okay,
but that also then more explains the gentleman's club that turns into the gym locker room now at like an Experience Fitness.
Where guys are just hanging out.
Because at a certain time, like once you hit, I think the threshold's about 72, Drew. Is that fair, you think? Where these dudes are just laying brain everywhere. They're hanging out. They got the legs out. They got the towel down, maybe. They're just hanging out.
Reading the paper, if there was, reading their phone, I guess.
Oh, no, they're reading the paper,
100%. Oh, good.
100%. Jim's bringing in the paper, and he's just sitting there right there in the middle hanging out. That's where that probably all started. There's no pause, sadly.
Literally hanging out.
Sadly, no pause there. Tommy and Stallis, we couldn't get out of the locker room without our towel as our ticket out. Our teacher would stand at the exit and throw the towels at us. I don't think it was happenstance that the towels always were high. No, I do always remember, though, Coach Biff. It was my favorite one of Coach Biff just sitting there, hand out, head to the other side, scratchy. Somebody from the football team would come through. Eggert, hold on 1 second. I got something.
I got a good one.
Take in here and go and grab one of the only towels that was somewhat new.
That's hilarious.
You get to know where you're a big boy.
I'm thinking like who was tasked to wash the towel? Was the gym teacher to wash the towels?
Probably, yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
That's like employment they wouldn't have anymore in our public school system. Doesn't that seem like that to you? Like that they would actually have a laundry machine and someone to wash towels every day? It seems like they just wouldn't. They would have cut that position by now or cut that service. I don't know if that's the right word to use, service. But I don't know. It's just wild to think about all these things. And now they probably don't do any of this stuff, But
we're getting back to it, though. We're getting back to it, though. And maybe they stop. And we had a recess game that got a little too aggressive on the football side, so we had to start playing catch and kneel. Hopefully they're letting the kids play full contact again.
One would hope.
Let's find some grass and let them go on out there and play. Derek in Whitewater said when he was in school, they did archery and could bring the compound bows to school to use in archery class. We wanted. Holy cow! Now you're doing that. You're kind of just showing off.
Archery.
Just dicing things up.
Aren't you worried about lawsuits and stuff? I guess back in
teaching
the day,
life skills.
Well, it depends what district too. It depends where you grew up.
You get north of Highway 29. They probably did like a week on hunter safety.
100%. Yeah,
gun
for
safety.
sure.
Probably in Alaska. You grew up in Alaska. It's gun safety.
There was like an elective when I was in high school. They had like winter camping and stuff, and that was a class you could take.
Oh wow, okay.
It was like in the home ec field or something like home ec. Then they had that, but winter camping was a class you could take.
Home ec's another one that was a lot of fun.
That's been phased out too.
That got phased out too, I think, too, where you're not learning how to cook brownies during class.
Brownies. That's it. We made brownies, man. That was great. I loved it. And then right away you were like, all right, I'm not going to get on dishwashing duty, so I'll cook it. You guys can wash the dishes. We made our own clothes once. Did you ever do that? With like a sewing machine?
I do believe the sewing machine was there. I don't think I got a little too nervous there. I just made another batch of brownies.
You got to pick your fabric. You had to go get fabric from like Joanne Fabric, and then you had to like pick your favorite fabric and make shorts. And like it was a beeline that night to take your mom to get the Packers fabric because it would run out because all the dudes would want Packers. So I had my Packers fabric. I remember I made my Packers shorts. That was fun. It didn't really fit.
Derek in Whitewater, Delvin Darian comments, and yes, we did have hunter safety as a class.
There it is, that's not there. Yes, 29.
No, that's right there. Come on.
All right, 877-794-1973.
Trip down memory lane. That's fun.
Law.com talk and text line. Bucks announced Karis LeVert. Isn't today the John Horst presser availability? Is that today? It was pushed to a day.
He had some quotes yesterday.
And he was yesterday.
Yeah, they ended up having some more quotes yesterday. Yep, it was pushed away.
John Horst did talk, but yeah, Karis LeVert deal announced as part of a 6-team deal, which that's how I thought the Giannis deal was going to get consummated with the 6 teams. No.
I thought the one of my favorite quotes was, "No one's sitting here today saying that we're a better team today than after trading Giannis. For us, it's all about the opportunity to build." But we're not sugarcoating it. We already know.
Yeah, we know.
Everyone knows we're not better,
absolutely
but we got to do something here. We had to change course.
Well, outside of 34, everything's better, I think.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, you take the head of the snake off. What exactly is the body? But I think the framework of everything's a little bit better.
They're basically like last year's Heat. They're poised to be like a play-in team, right? I mean, they're like, to me, that's what it's shaping up like.
Yeah, and if somebody pops, who knows what could potentially happen? 10 teams make some kind of a postseason play on both sides. So as long as you're not a bottom third club, and I do struggle to think that they're fully in that spot. There's a little more excitement about a Bucks basketball season than I thought there would be right away. I'm seeing a lot of folks eager to watch what gets developed and what starts up. And color me shocked. I definitely thought that there would be a massive swoon down, and maybe it's just the really hard cores that I'm seeing. But there does seem to be a little bit more, and maybe I'm being optimistic, a little more excitement for what happens coming up in October than I had previously thought would happen when 34 exited down to South Beach.
Excellent. When we come back, Scott Dolphin's going to join us because we've reached halftime of the Huddle. That's right. 6 o'clock club. You get the halftime report from Dolph. Hunter Baumgardt joins us in about an hour from right now to talk Brewers. We'll bounce our Sal Frelick trade possibility off of him. It seems to fire people up.
We got a lot more responses still too on the Talking Sex line to get to.
Giddy up. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Back on the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, Drew, Billy, and Armen. Armen bumping back with Bonnie Tyler, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Scott Dolphin, our halftime correspondent, joins us from FM 106, country station down the hall. And Dolph, we're paying tribute. And I have to resist the urge that the joke writes itself on this one.
Yeah.
Her biggest hit, Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yeah, Bonnie, 75 years old. That's sad news. You
Rest
know,
in
it's
peace. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when I hear of celebrity deaths nowadays, it kind of, reminds me of my own mortality. I think I was in high school when that song was a big hit. Maybe my first year of college back in the early
MTV
80s.
Song.
Oh, huge
MTV back when MTV ruled the roost.
And the remake was popular for other generations. Nikki French version.
And the Dan Band. Do you remember their version in movies like Old School?
Yes, totally.
Yeah, that's fun stuff.
At Jelly Roll, he did this montage of covers and stuff, and one of them was Scrubs by TLC. And I always like it when you get bands do shifting genres like that, or rearranging a song and making it their own.
Did you hear? Was it Shinedown last week? The week before, did a mosh pit version of Taylor Swift's "Love Story"?
Really?
It
must have been awesome.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, KB's a huge fan of that Ryan Adams remake of Taylor Swift's album. Like, he covered the whole album, and Ryan Adams did it.
It's amazing when you can
get
do
into the
stuff
guts
like
of the
that.
songwriting part of it. It's like, whoa, you interpret the songs differently, and it's cool.
He's talented. Caught his Austin City Limits episode.
He had some demons,
ago.
but he has a talent to do it. Very prolific too.
He is.
Shapeshifter.
No doubt.
Yeah, Bonnie Tyler passing away. And you're right, Dolph. Like, the more and more you hear, like, people you grew up with. And the thing about that is, every time somebody like that passes, and I think back to how big like MTV was for our generation and the culture, and like, you try to tell kids like YouTube, TikTok, all we had was a cable TV channel that everybody watched all the time.
It was life-changing for me. You're talking about a time when growing up in small town Iowa, we first got cable, and MTV was part of that package. And I'll never forget my buddy called me up and said, MTV's on. It's now on. And I remember turning it. I wasn't there for the first video, which was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. But I remember tuning in, and Phil Collins in the Air Tonight was the first video I saw. And I'm like, what is this? It's in black and white. It's very artistic.
It's hard to tell because you didn't, unless you went to a show, you didn't see your favorite artists.
No.
You didn't, other than pictures and on the album, like, you had to imagine what they looked like and what they looked like performing. And
see, now that part I definitely can't comprehend. I can get it, like the idea of this was the destination, and because the pop culture side of it, I got a little bit of the taste in the 90s of it still being, but the relevancy and the first touch into the people that were blowing up, that's a totally different strategy.
It shifted, then it shifted to like the Real World and Road Rules and all the
right, and then it was
shows.
ridiculousness while I'm in college and every single hour.
And all that. But
Total Request Live was the big one.
It was
for us.
crack though, because you'd watch it and it was like, I guess that's probably what radio was like for kids in the 60s. Like, you waited to hear your favorite Beatles song, but you would wait, like they'd play a video and then you'd watch like 6 hours, like, oh, they might play something that I like next, or they might, you just watch it endlessly.
Yeah, before that, if you were lucky, you got shows that featured live concert footage of your favorite bands.
Midnight Special.
Yeah, the Midnight Special.
Or they go on like what? Ed Sullivan or something?
Well, no, Midnight Special, or even like,
Saturday Night Live. I was always
what you
excited
mean.
about
I see what you
SNL
mean.
as a kid, because you would see sometimes your favorite
and
bands
then later
live in
on, like
concert.
Letterman started having cool bands and stuff like that. But there was a
service.
vehicle for that. But the thing was, and to Dolph's point, you're in small town Iowa, I'm in Menominee Falls, and there's kids in like Wyoming and California. It kind of homogenized the culture where everybody was watching the same thing at the same time, right? It was like everybody, we all consumed the same thing. So it bonded the generation.
And the VJs at that time, which I guess were probably radio people like ourselves, became megastars. Martha Quinn, JJ Jackson,
Mark Goodwin.
Goodwin. Yeah. It was nuts how that just captured every TV.
It was insane.
And then you had the astronaut dancing on the moon, and that was the beginning of every hour.
Yeah, like and that became then bands, like the most important thing about it was the song for sure, but the video would make the song.
Yeah,
a good video would push sometimes craptastic songs to unbelievable heights.
I Want My MTV by Dire Straits.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And then it just became 23 hours of ridiculousness. And then a Jersey Shore
it morphed away from that, kind of the way ESPN got away from Sports Center, which was their bread and butter bell cow. And then, it kind of evolved.
Yeah, and that was a generation starter because that was, for sports fans, the same thing where it was like everybody was catching and learning what happened at 11 o'clock when they started the Sports Center, and you started figuring out who ended up winning throughout the night.
And Patrick and Olbermann were the Martha Quinn and J.J. Jackson.
Sadly, I only got the Saturday morning slice of what MTV used to be, where it would just roll through actual music videos nonstop, and that was a good time. That was a good taste of what it was, because it was an educational experience for those early 2000s.
Pre-video games, you'd go to a buddy's house or you'd have people over and stuff, and you'd sit and watch MTV for like 4 hours.
Yeah, and that Bonnie Tyler
didn't have video games to play, so we had 4 hours.
And that song, I mean, Total Eclipse of the Heart, was like in the wheelhouse. I want to say, what was that? Probably 83, 84 of MTV. It was probably when it was at its strongest.
Peak. And then they started doing like the spring break shows and stuff, and like that. And that became like, if you're in college, it was ridiculous. Like
it was.
They showed the parties, but it did, and I don't know. I'm sure it was probably like that anyway. That if you went to college in the 70s and you visited a friend at a different school, it's like, oh, it's very similar. But it did made all the parties were the same, the music was the same, like everything. It didn't matter where you were. If you were young at that time, we were all kind of watching.
Everything was in the same boat.
And now it's
we were
fragmented now.
Billy, as kids, we were easily entertained.
We'd
ride our bikes during the day, and then we'd watch MTV.
Dolph would have loved our discussion earlier about we started with the presidential physical.
Yeah, I was going to say this would have been
the whole gym class thing back when we were kids, and what that was like and how that's changed over the years.
Yeah, I forgot about the presidential fitness test. Of course, I aced it.
Pull-ups, flexed arm hang, climbing a rope. No, sit and reach.
Pretty impressive stuff. 83. Right out of the gates on that Bonnie Tyler totally.
You're right.
Is that what it was? Right on 83.
I knew I was either a senior in high school or a freshman in college, so that would have been that same era.
Primacy memory right there.
Yeah, and it was a weird video. I remember her eyes were like glowing white.
Well, you had to try different things. You had people could do video tricks back then.
And then of course it culminated with the pinnacle was probably Michael Jackson's Thriller, and people were losing their minds because it was 20 minutes long. It's like, this isn't a video, but it was.
It was actually a mini movie. At that
was.
Point.
Yeah. Rob on the Talking Text line said we didn't get cable in the country, but there were always videos on broadcast on Friday night videos.
Oh yeah. That was
okay.
It was like This Week in Baseball
for people without cable.
This Week in Baseball.
Yeah, guys like me that didn't have it.
Mel Allen.
How about that?
How about that?
I think our first cable, I think we had 12 channels. I know we had HBO because I watched Deborah Winger in Urban Cowboy about 14 times one weekend. You didn't get a lot of movies on HBO, but the ones you got were pretty good, and they were on repeat mode. That's what I remember about that first summer of having cable. It was Urban Cowboy and MTV.
That's right. So Dolph, Brewers played a clunker last night.
Yeah.
It happens. Tip your cap. They didn't generate much offense. They lose 5-1. But we kicked a hornet's nest today because we're talking now that it looks like Woodruff got bad news and he might be done. And then Kyle Harrison had some elbow soreness. It's been hampering him. Now he gets a nice long break because of the All-Star break.
I hope it helps because he clearly does not look right.
Doesn't look like he did a couple weeks ago. And so there's the urgency to go get a starter, whether it's, and we fantasize about Skubal, but get some help for the rotation. It becomes like almost imperative now. And I threw out there like a package, like to get Tarik Skubal. I said, what did I say, Billy?
It said Braylon Payne, Logan Henderson, and Sal Frelick.
And people are like, oh, you gotta trade Sal Frelick? I'm like, oh yeah, you can.
So it'd just be a rental, right?
Yes, it would be 2 months for Skubal. Yep, for the back-to-back Cy Young Award.
A la CC.
Yep.
In 2008. Yeah, I mean, if it's that dire, especially if Harrison is damaged goods, I mean, if it's more than just a sore elbow.
Well, yeah, and I think you have to get him and then a Michael Walker, or you have to get, I think, almost 2 starters and a reliever if you can. Easy for me to say that because I'm not parting with the assets, but the Tigers now have won a couple in a row, and they're only 4.5 back.
Yeah, and they had one of the better records in the AL in the month of June, so they might not want to
still trade Skubal and still push because the AL's that bad.
Sure.
Yeah, it is. If you're the Brewers, I don't want to say it, but it's, especially with Woody. Now, Woody's going to get a second opinion, but usually when you hear that, it's not good.
It's not.
Usually, it's multiple months at least.
So yeah,
the idea
it'd be hard to count him in at all.
I can't.
They've just hit the lottery with these young pitchers in trades and guys that we didn't really know about, like Quinn Priester. But boy, yeah, right now, I mean, if Kyle Harrison is not able to come back to where he was a couple weeks ago, you have to get somebody. I don't know if it's Skubal.
Yeah, that's just it. So they're gonna have to
It's going to be interesting to see who else pops up. Like maybe Joe Ryan does, but they're in the same boat. They're even a couple of games technically better than the Tigers, albeit their ownership group's ready to shed payroll whenever they can.
Well, people talk about they've asked about Peralta. We've talked about him a lot as being a possibility.
Trade. I like Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman. Bring them both.
I like the twofer. I love the twofer.
Bring the twofer from the Red Sox.
Do you think there's any problem bringing Chapman in if he's not your closer? Because, I mean, he is a closer. He's a ninth inning guy. You make him the closer and move it around. I'm very okay with that, too.
I got Uribe, McGill, Chapman. Good luck.
Good luck with that.
If we're up
one.
after 6, it's a 6 inning
And
game.
I also think Chapman's one of those guys. He's got enough pelts on the wall. He walks into the bullpen. Nobody feels any sort of way about him taking over the ninth inning.
And he has that huge postseason experience. He's won a ring. He's been in a lot of tight pressure games. And at this age, you wouldn't think he'd be faced. McGill. How about McGill, though? What is he saved? He's converted all but one in the last couple months.
Yeah, he's like the last couple weeks. Since he had that hiccup, he's been like lights out.
Hunter had the number. I want to say it was 1.3. His ERA is over his last 30 appearances. Like it's pretty astounding what he's done since that first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, when you've got, like you said, those three guys, it reminds you of some of those other Brewer squads. And, the names, are legendary in the minds of Brewers fans over the years. You always have that 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guy, and magic can happen.
Yeah. Well, and if you get Sonny Gray and Aroldis Chapman, you got Uribe, McGill, and Chapman there at the back end. Then Aaron Ashby can start a playoff game again. I mean, let's be honest. We know that he's going to have to start a playoff game.
Or give you any
point.
bulk after a short start.
He could go an inning or 2/3. Yeah. He could be 2 innings there.
He'll probably have 20 wins by October.
Very much good. Yeah, very much good.
Very well could be.
Sonny Gray, I have mixed feelings about as a Yankees fan because he came, with much fanfare from the A's, and he goes to New York, and some people just don't shine bright under those Broadway lights.
It is funny. And that's part of the calculus too. Then we mentioned, we were talking about Caleb Durbin earlier, and he got off to a really rough start in Boston. Now he's starting to settle in and produce a little bit.
He is. And
he's going to win hearts and minds because he's a good player, good kid.
Red Sox fans were feeling a little bit better about their trades with the Brewers because I can't name the minor league guy that came over from Milwaukee, but he's doing
Anthony Siegler playing well to start up too.
That was the one guy in that trade I thought, oh man, I kind of liked Anthony Siegler. He's the guy that played basketball with Davidson from the Badgers in high school up in the Twin Cities. And Davidson said he could have been a Division I basketball player. He's that good of an athlete.
Yeah, he is a wild athlete. He can catch a little bit too in there.
You can fall in love with guys like that, like Isaac Collins.
Oh yeah,
guys like that.
Right.
Sal Frelick, former quarterback in high school, state player of the year at the quarterback spot, hockey player.
Legendary.
So I kicked the Hornets, and it's not that I don't like Sal Frelick, but you got to give up something to get something. And he's a major league plug and play, Gold Glove winning right fielder who people are going to like.
I still hold out that this is a compliment to Sal Frelick.
That's what I'm saying.
This is a compliment to be brought into a conversation.
But they have coverage, right? And they're covered in that area. And obviously they're committed to Lara the way they are with Cooper Pratt.
Yeah, it's also funny because we put it out online. Would you include Sal Frelick in a package for Skubal? And people are hammering yeah. And if that's the package, the Tigers hang up the phone and hate you. No, that's one of the pieces.
It's
arguably not the most intriguing piece. I think Henderson might be more intriguing. Some people would say the former first-round pick in Payne would be the guy, but I don't know. Somebody that's got big league hitters out and struck out 10 in a start is a hard one to.
What's Henderson's status, by the way? Is he throwing
tonight?
This week? Oh, I was going to say he is. Is he pitching tonight?
He is getting close to
pitching tonight.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually.
Yeah, he was throwing so well before you.
Yeah. So again,
I believe it.
The Bishop Letson, they got a couple guys down there that
his first start back here tonight.
Yep, tonight he's back.
Fortunately, they always seem to find guys that can, as you mentioned, plug and play. That goes for the pitching staff as well. I don't think anybody had Robert Gasser throwing as well as he's thrown over the last 3 or 4 starts.
Good example.
Out
into the 8th inning the other night.
Drowan's been good. I mean, when you go on the line, Sproat, all these guys. So
Drowan has nasty stuff.
Yeah, Coleman Crow. I mean, the guys have come in and done the job when they're asked.
Coleman Crow sounds like a 1960s author of some prize-winning book.
I thought he was somebody that would have been strumming a 6-string in the 90s and on TR. He would have been a country guy.
Or a politician.
CMT would have been playing a lot of Coleman Crow.
Secretary of War under the Roosevelt administration, Coleman Crow.
That's so true.
He had the coolest horse as well that he was.
I always go to Cameron Crowe.
Yes, you're right.
Cameron
Crowe, the Rolling Stone writer who wrote what did he write?
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous was his thing, and that was
with a Kate Hudson with a fastball. She still has a fastball.
Oh, big time.
All right, let's start on
You're
that.
not lying about that one, Dolph. Not lying about that
Did
one.
you see
Cameron Crowe wrote Fast Times at Ridgemont High, too.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that.
Was he went undercover as a high school student and then and then that became the movie.
Have you guys seen that movie, Billy and Armen? Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
I have seen that one. Yes, that is one of the
whole movie or just the pool scene?
I've seen the pool scene a
BB
couple of
Cates,
times.
pool
Yeah, I've
scene?
seen the
Okay,
pool
just
scene a couple of times.
All right.
But I've seen the order pizza to school.
Oh, yeah.
Scene a couple of times.
Yeah.
That was one that I thought was
Mr. Hand.
Cameron Crowe did Jerry Maguire. He did Say Anything.
Wow.
He did. He wrote what else? Fast Times, obviously. He's won a few.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. What a cast. You had Judge Reinhold.
Sean
Penn, Phoebe Cates.
Yeah.
You had, what's his name?
Cage.
From ER.
Wasn't Nicolas Cage in that?
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
Yes, he
Nicolas
was.
Cage.
I think he was credited as Nicholas Coppola, which is his real name back in.
That's right.
Now let
in
me
that
make sure.
movie.
Just want to clarify. This is when my man was selling tickets out of his jacket, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that this is the right one
Concert guy.
because I was very interested in trying to be that.
That's
guy.
right.
I was very interested in trying to see what kind of terrorist reserve tickets I could flip at middle school.
I get that one. I love that. I get that one mixed up with like the other, like Dazed and Confused and all those other movies. I get them all mixed up.
That one
Those
was good.
80s
They all
cult
copied
classic.
Fast Times.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Fast Times was probably 81.
Period
80,
piece,
81.
82.
And then
Yeah.
my generation gets like Varsity Blues and those types
Sure.
of movies.
Yep.
And then that goes into the 2000s with the frat pack movies like Old School and all that. So everybody's got their era.
Yeah, we had
You
the
know?
Brat Pack in our era.
Yeah,
with,
right.
With
right.
James Spader and
Yeah.
Andrew McCarthy and
Yeah,
Rob
oh, yeah.
Lowe and
Rob Lowe.
Yeah, this one holds up, man. That movie holds
That
up.
holds up.
1982. You're
Is that what it
right.
is?
Bang.
Dude.
You
Love it,
two
love it, love it.
dialed in. Let's go.
Hey, bud, let's party.
Yeah.
We talk about pool scenes and stuff.
Spanning the generations.
Go
here.
look up Vanna White as a contestant.
Oh, Armen's favorite, Summer Catch.
Just starting.
Summer
Well, obviously
Catch.
that with Jessica Biel. That's the only reason anyone watch that movie. It's got like 6%
That's not a
of Rotten
baseball
Potatoes.
movie.
Well, it sort of
It's
is.
the Jessica Biel movie.
Is it
Hey, Brian Dennehy was the coach.
love Brian Dennehy? You mentioned Jessica Biel. It makes me think of Kate Upton. Is it sad for Justin Verlander that more people are talking about her than him as he announces his retirement?
Yeah.
I don't think it's sad for him at all.
How about him?
I don't
think
feel
he'll-
bad for him at all.
Yeah. He'll snuggle up real tight. It'll be all good.
You can almost make the case that again Rivera, but who could not vote for him for the Hall of Fame? Like he was Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, multiple,
yeah,
and
he's
And
gotta
for
be.
what, three no hitters,
Two-time World
Yeah.
Series champion.
yeah. I mean,
and
he is absolute the definition of a Hall of Famer.
Are we all going to die before? Is there ever going to be another 300-game winner? Because he has 266 right now.
Yeah,
Aaron Ashby's going to make a run at it.
Yeah, he is. If he keeps pitching like he is this year.
Nah, but it won't be a starter. He'll be unconventional.
One thing you'd have to do is pitch late, and Verlander's what 43, 40.
He's 43.
43 years old.
I mean,
20.
you used to have to pitch 20 years. Now, I don't know
So hard.
if it's
You
possible.
might have to
anymore.
pitch 40 years to try to get to that number. I don't think it's happening.
Because you don't get the number
20
of decisions.
years of
you used to
15
get.
wins. Come on.
You don't get the decisions. I mean, Nolan Ryan got a lot of decisions because he pitched a long time, pitched late in the games.
Dolph, thanks for popping by, man.
All right, boys, see you
Appreciate it.
tomorrow.
All right. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Huddled up on a Thursday, Drew, Billy, and Armen having a blast with you. 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years. DonovanJorgensen.com, the website. It was nice. I didn't have the AC on. Oh, I did have the AC on last night.
I turned ours on a little bit.
A little muggy,
yesterday.
but the dew point's going to drop today and then be muggy again and hot over the weekend. So Donovan Jorgensen, get that AC tuned up or get it working properly. We're looking at 90s again early next week.
I got the look when I walked over to the thermostat and turned it on. My wife's like, "What do you mean? It's nice out." So yeah. Now it's 10 a.m. and it's already 81. This is going to give you a little bit different deal. So we're slicing this, closing this thing up, cranking this bad boy up, and let's fire it up. Who's hot? Who's not? Dylan Cease was fired up last night. Now the only time that he was not hot was when he gave up his lone hit in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Yep, Cease took a no-hitter into the ninth inning yesterday against the Giants. Now, Drew, maybe one of the heavier worked no-hitter bids that we watched here. Cease threw 118 pitches. That was with giving up the first hit to the first batter of the ninth inning. Did walk 3 and struck out 11, but it was close. Game wasn't, though. Blue Jays win 10-0 yesterday as they go all over the Giants, who are now 38-54. Tough stuff over there. The Cubs would be in the hot category as they win again last night. They're now 52-40 and surging a little bit. 2 home runs for PCA yesterday. Tigers, we're mentioning a lot about Tarik Skubal, but they continue to win some games and put themselves back in the conversation as now they've won 4 straight games. They're only 8 games under 500, 5.5 games out of the division, but also a little closer in the wild card. They got to jump a bunch of teams, though, in the wild card. That would be tough. Spencer Torkelson went deep for the Tigers yesterday, but their big news was Justin Verlander, who has been a hot conversation, so is his wife, for quite some time in Major League Baseball, but one of the absolute better guys that we've seen in the game in his career goes that way. And then the Tampa Bay Rays, we're going to throw them in also in the hot category. They shut out yesterday the New York Yankees. They've got a 5-game lead in the AL East. Drew, how many people just on the surface would know that the Rays are leading the East over the New York Yankees?
A great question.
Like casual,
0%,
real casual baseball observers, I don't even know that you would have thought about it because the Yankees are still right top of mind. Sure, Judge being out maybe would add into it, but McClanahan was pretty good last night, 6 1/3, no runs, only 4 hits given up, no walks on just 85 pitches as they beat the Bronx Bombers there last night. Who's hot? Who's not with Donovan Jorgensen? Who was not last night was the Brewers, but that's fine. We'll get back at it. 5-1 win. And Logan Henderson going to be up, going to be hot today. First start since May in the big leagues for Logan Henderson, who takes the ball here tonight for the Crew.
Donovan Jorgensen. We are rolling, just marching through this Thursday, taking no prisoners, cracking all over the place. And it only gets better from here. Hunter Baumgardt joins us at 7:25. Talk a little Brewers as they try. They already won the series, but 4-1's better than 3-2.
Let's get greedy. And I have a wake and bake story to wrap things up here today that our buddy KB would be very proud of.
All right.
He'd be very proud of the one that I found out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, for what's going to close up shop here today. But we got a lot more to play before we get there.
Yep. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. They say all good things come to an end.
A high chopper over the mound. Fermin throws him out. Ball game over. It's a 5-1 Cardinals win. They ride the extra base hit to their first victory in the last 8 games against Milwaukee.
Jeff Levering on the play-by-play on Brewers TV. The crew followed the Cardinals 5-1 at Busch. Kyle Harrison, not his best outing. He gives up 3 earned runs and was pulled after just 4 innings with some elbow soreness. The series finale is tonight starting at 6:45. Logan Henderson pitches against Andre Palante. We almost saw some history in San Francisco on Wednesday.
And it's lined into center, a base hit to lead off the top of the 9th inning. The first hit of the ball game for the Giants.
Dylan Cease takes a no-hitter into the 9th. He still gets the win, as do his Blue Jays, 10-0 over the Giants. The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, Diller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 hit. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on 1. Ready? Cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep it going. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen,
This is
Sarian.
it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Cutting, cracking, making seals all over the place. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen broadcasting live on Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, iHeartRadio app, streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. We're going to get to our current electric superhero of the day, but I got a freezing cold take for you guys that was freezing the minute it hit the socials.
Let's go. I'm ready for it. Perfect. I love this.
I never heard of Dan Clark yesterday.
Oh, God. I knew exactly where you were going.
Saw this, didn't you? He was miffed. Perfect. I mean, boomer take alert.
At least he understood it.
100%. Jackson Churrio's not a left-handed hitter. He never has been. Yet last night, he batted left-handed in the 9th. Playing MLB should never be trivial. Many guys bust their asses for years and never get the opportunity. Terrible look.
Who's this? That's at the
your boy
baseball
Dan
named
Clark
Dan Clark, who I've
Sports.
never heard of, but he's got like 70,000
Really?
X followers. I don't know
Dan
if you
Clark. All
bought
right.
those. But this was when
It's a take.
like Churrio's batting against a position player, a guy who used to play for the Milkmen
Mm-hmm.
in the 9th inning of a blowout game. What was it, 10-2?
It's a 10-2 game in which it's the ninth inning,
inning.
the 18th inning of a doubleheader.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Churrio goes up left-handed on a dare, wearing the left-handed helmet, different helmet that he usually wears, goes up and it never, like the Brewers hitting coaches said they've never even seen him swing left-handed. And he hits he gets an ephus pitch that he hits all the way to just like 2 steps in front of the warning track in center.
One of the more impressive athletic things I think I've seen.
And this guy is dumping on it. Like, come on.
I would argue what he did was less kind of, what's the word he said? Novelty, or what's the word he said? Ridiculous.
Said trivial.
Trivial. What he did was less trivial than what the opposing team did, which was throwing a position player to throw ephus pitches at 39 miles an hour.
That's what
Jackson
I'm saying.
Churrio put up a better at-bat than what most people do, and they're a strong hand. And also, how do guys ever learn to be ambidextrous and be a switch hitter? You have to try it. Fair point. You have to try it. Something I'm not arguing that's what Jackson's doing. I understand it, but you do have to try it sometime. I mean, this is kind of silly. The quick Google search for Dan Clark baseball writer is hard. A lot of people on Reddit calling him a fake reporter. So I'm not really sure what the deal is. Okay, so he had a hot take, rage bait, whatever. I mean, I think it's sort of silly, but that's what it was. Okay?
I did enjoy, though, and I guess I was more surprised that there were certain folks that were somewhat defending his statement on online or in the comments section with just saying like, well, this is just rude, disrespectful. Or the question that something called Sal Frelick, a coach, 40 plus years of high performance training.
Okay.
40 plus years of high performance training.
And he's probably been watching it for even longer.
Said, is there any other sport these days that trivializes itself this way as much as baseball? In a blowout game, an NBA player took free throws with his offhand. Would we consider him having fun or disrespectful? If in a blowout football game at any level, a non-quarterback played quarterback, well, he is one of the best players on the team. Him hitting from the other side of the coin would be like Greg Oden, I think, maybe in college basketball. Remember when he was shooting free throws left-handed because he broke his hand? You got to find different ways to be able to have some fun.
You have to entertain yourself. Did anyone say this when Jordan shot a closed-eyed free throw? Do you remember that? He shot a free throw with his eyes closed because someone told me he couldn't. Did anyone say this when Larry Bird played a whole game left-handed?
I was just going to say, didn't Larry Bird do this?
He did.
In a victory.
He played a whole game left-handed.
And he put up 30.
Just for fun. I'm not saying like, and you would never argue those guys disrespected the game, right? So
Larry Bird was trying to do it to disrespect someone.
Right. And he did it well. Now, I would say like, if this was, this is clearly in a point of the game where both sides kind of threw the towel in.
So he's not a switch hitter, never has been. Well, Brian Torres has never been a pitcher, and now he's pitching in
a Major League Baseball game.
Who's the person he's disrespecting?
In the 18th inning of a doubleheader. I mean, 18th inning of a day when you played a doubleheader. Come on.
The only person that I could have seen, and I guess maybe somewhat get this feel some sort of way, would be Ali Marmol and the Cardinals if they did. But they're the ones that threw a position player out on the mound, and I think if I remember correctly, they showed a shot into the Cardinals dugout, and nobody was reacting without a laugh. Like it did also seem like they were enjoying the spectacle that was happening.
You do that not on purpose. You do that intentionally to say, okay, we're just trying to get through innings. This game's over. We're not going to use our pitchers. So yeah, I mean, it's just to me like it's. I hate to say it. It's just obvious rage bait to me.
How dare he like just trash the integrity of the game when Brian Torres threw a 34.9 mile an hour pitch
that I think the first one didn't register on StatCast.
And Churio, the exit velo on that was 98.
He generated all of the power on that thing. That was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it be more disrespectful to try and load up your stats and stat pad?
I mean,
like when the Cubs got 23 runs, isn't that?
I wonder if Tony La Russa would have been mad about that. Maybe.
I did see somebody post a picture of La Russa in the dugout and just saying, "This is Dan Clark." I could see maybe La Russa just having a burner at 81 years old. Like just fire something in there and be able to talk about these idiots in the crowd.
Yeah, I'll say it.
These idiots don't get it.
If Jackson Churio chose to call himself a switch hitter and batted. A lot of switch hitters are better from one side, right? So a lot of guys that have done it really shouldn't have done it. But my point is, if Jackson Churio said, I'm going to be a switch hitter and still batted, let's say 220 or 230 from his offhand, would anyone say he's disrespecting the game? We don't know what he could do if he bat left-handed every game. I bet if Jackson Churio batted left-handed every time against a righty, he could have a decent like 220, 230. I'm not saying great, but he would be respectable. I mean, based on what he did there. No, did anyone say Brooks Kieschnick disrespected the game when he tried to hit and pitch? I mean, no, it's like, oh, maybe this is
he walked so weapon. Shohei could run.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so I don't know. I think it's obvious rage bait. It's pretty silly. And this idea that anybody can't have fun playing the game has still kind of consistently pervaded here. This is an old baseball thing that people don't want anyone to ever enjoy or joke around or be somewhat frivolous in the process. And I don't get it. And I don't think I ever will,
Are we engagement, rage baiting, engagement farming there? What are we doing? Like, come on.
There's got to be.
I think so, yes. I think
my man does have 70,000 followers, but I think he's following 65,000. So he's definitely trying to make sure that he's getting into every one of those algorithms, playing the game.
A lot of questionable tactics there, social media tactics.
But very interesting. Yeah. And I appreciate
it's like
the unanimous
really
dunking
think
on
that, do you? You can't really think about that.
There are certain people, though, Drew, that think the sky's green.
Yeah.
There are certain people that live on a totally different stratosphere of the sports world, but I can't fathom that one being serious. But again, Tony La Russa did exist. Out of the sports world, the one that takes the unwritten rules to a different level is always baseball. Like if any sport this would feel disrespected, I think some baseball player could feel some sort of way or tell themselves that they're that frustrated or angry about something, which would be even more fun.
Totally. Derek and Madison on the NickLayLaw.com talking text line. My 11-year-old son has been tinkering with switch hitting in the Little League. He's been super nervous to try it, though. After Churio's at bat, my son is ready to do it in a game tonight. So he inspired a kid to try something new.
There we go.
Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, man.
And let us know how that swing goes.
Yeah.
And also, don't let some other dad, travel ball dad, not let him go up there and hack.
Yeah, now I can only imagine what this guy's opinions on banana ball is, Billy. When guys get points for trick plays. And
he's got to despise banana ball.
He must think banana ball is the
worst. He's
got
to think a ball four sprint's the worst thing that's ever happened in the world.
Worst thing to ever happen to
you.
humanity.
Have 9 players touch the baseball? What is this, a carnival act? Well, one of the teams does have an elephant pitch.
As a matter of fact, yes. Oh my goodness.
I mean, let's be honest about it.
All right, time for a little superhero action. Who's our superhero of the day? Brought to us by Current Electric. Call current.com, the website. Check these guys out. They got superheroes on the side of the van because they are the superheroes when it comes to your electrical needs. Current Electric, call current.com. Billy, who's our superhero of the day?
From Channel 15 in Madison, friends help rescue an elderly couple and family from a burning Lodi home on the 4th of July. Yeah, that's the headline.
Wow.
A group of friends broke down the door, ran into a burning home on Rodney Drive in the town of Lodi, Wisconsin on the 4th of July, helping people inside escape before firefighters even arrived. Lodi Fire was dispatched around 10:45 Saturday night to a home which had caught fire from what the department described as heavy use of fireworks in the area. Crews were aware of 2 people that could be inside when the call came in. A group of 19 and 20-year-olds had already entered the home, helped get the occupants out unharmed before firefighters arrived. The group said in an interview that they had thought that it was just a bonfire. Gavin Klon, one of the youngsters that got into the house, at the back of the house was already red and smoky. We're like, that is not a bonfire. The group split up, banging on windows, working to get inside from the front and the back of the house. They said, we got to get these people out. They got all 6 people in the building out before firefighters arrived. Lodi Deputy Fire Chief John Lear said 45 years on the job. He had never seen anything like what caused that fire. He also thanked the crews and other departments that helped respond, particularly on a hot night, to rotate personnel and work together to extinguish the fire. The residents of the home have been displaced, but the home is not livable due to the damage, but family members are caring for them at this time. There are fundraising efforts up. Jim, the homeowner, celebrating his 91st birthday with his family at the home when the fire started.
Wow, let's hear it for some everyday heroes. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're risking, obviously, a lot to go do that for people that maybe you don't even know. So that's what looking out for your neighbors all about.
Especially when you're 19 or 20 years old and you're hanging out with your boys saying, we got to get in there. We got to help those people out, dude.
And I feel like we've needed a story like that recently. We've had some sad ones. That's a wonderful, wonderful story. And some everyday heroes there. How about that? Because, it's not just, it's the smoke inhalation. There can be a lot of issues there. Getting the people out wow, that's amazing stuff.
It really is. Superheroes. They walk amongst us.
Yeah.
And so do the callcurrent.com superheroes. Current Electric superheroes are all there for you as well. Because some summer storms are going to roll through here, right? I know there were some different spots of the state last night as well. They can be very, very dangerous. That power goes out. You don't want to leave your family in a stifling hot house, or, as I learned, with a fridge full of expiring and spoiling food. And sometimes medicine in that fridge as well.
And
so
medication is big, yeah.
Check out that home standby generator from Current Electric. Also, with a purchase in the month of July, you receive a free 1 year of monitoring. So get the whole home standby generator from Current Electric in the month of July. You receive a free 1 year of monitoring at callcurrent.com.
Now, you want to be a hero to your neighborhood? You make sure you have a generator, so if the power goes out, no one's got power, you can run it from your generator for the whole block. Now,
Jeez Louise, I ain't trying to help out everybody. Everybody can come over here and get a little bit of AC.
Talk about being a hero.
Jeez Louise.
Run it for your whole block.
It's a whole home standby generator. It's not a neighborhood generator.
Well, you could be the man. You could be thinking.
Current Electric, some superheroes. I don't know they're firing an entire village generator, but maybe.
Yeah, but maybe 30 years later, they named the street after you. And then add some real, the real hero stuff right there.
Real hero stuff.
Think about that. We don't need Alex and Cambria. The 19 and 20-year-olds were probably the ones started the fire. Come on, man. We don't need that, Alex. Come on, man. These guys were some heroes. Don't give us that. So,
well, if they were, then they still were the ones that got them out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right. So Hunter's going to join us about 10 minutes. We're going to talk to him about, the Brewers. Obviously, that game, Logan Henderson tonight, as they try to go 4-1 in a 5-gamer against the Cardinals. We'll also talk to him about how we kick a hornet's nest by suggesting that the Brewers might trade Sal Frelick, like they could consider it.
Yeah,
as part of a package to get the top pitcher that they could get.
And he's not the best player in the deal. Like that's the other part that might be tough. He might not be the most intriguing athlete.
People like him. But before we dive into that, there's the whole LeBron thing that I'm sure ESPN's fanning that flame of where's LeBron going to go? What's LeBron going to do?
They got to be hating that they're at Wimbledon this whole time while they could be talking LeBron.
But like, is he going to go to Philly? Makes the most sense to me, or Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell now wrapped up. The Golden State thing is interesting. So Steph Curry got interviewed yesterday at a golf tournament. Did you see that?
I saw a little bit of it.
Steph's quote was, they said, possibility of playing with LeBron and the Warriors. Steph said, I'd say more so I'm interested to just play golf with LeBron. we'll handle the basketball stuff, but I want to see the golf LeBron free agent. He's out here really grinding on the game, but I'm sure we obviously would love to play together. I mean, hopefully it happens, but he's deserved the opportunity and the right to take his time with this decision.
The amount of golf that those two would play while traveling the NBA's globe for 1 to 2 years.
And that was one of the things that made people say that he was going to sign with Cleveland, because he's in Akron, and he and Bronny went to a golf galaxy or something
and scouting out what they could possibly do there.
Yeah, they're buying a driver or something like that. And then I guess people started to call their friend, LeBron's here and Bronny's here, and so they started to get. He wouldn't do pictures with people, but he did with the staff of the store. And then I heard that when it came time, like Bronny got a 3-wood or something like that, and then
he's like, Dad, is this one gonna work?
It came time to like who's
find
gonna
the fairway
pay,
kid.
And LeBron said, he's got this. I'm sick of carrying his ass. Like, he's got his own money.
Love that.
I got him a job. What do you guys want me to do?
I'm sick of carrying his ass, man.
Let
him pick up a check.
Is this better than the decision? I mean, the original decision. I don't know that there were as many teams. Rich Paul said there's 10 to 12 teams involved, or they could be.
Well, and there was also 3 finalists 2 days ago. Then yesterday, Shams had 5 finalists.
He's going to the Wolves. I'm sorry.
He's not going to Minnesota.
You don't think that? You don't think so?
I think the Philly one would be, as a LeBron fan, my most intriguing one.
That's the most intriguing team to go to, but Cleveland has the poll that he can finish there.
Cleveland would have the poll, being able.
They got Donovan Mitchell
Don't you
wrapped
think
up.
he wants to try out another team, see how many play for a team he hadn't played for yet, just to do it?
I don't know that that's exactly it, but I do know that the Philly fan base is kind of starving for the chance to have a title for the Sixers.
Right. So if he could be a hero somewhere else,
he could be somewhat of a hero there. He is always going to be a hero in Cleveland, right? Like as he should be. Miami, he's another star, right? Like he's just another star that's been through there, and him and Pat Riley had some real waxy buildup. He went back after Dan Gilbert put that 1-page letter out after he chose Miami at the decision. So he will go back even if he feels like you have clearly
depends on where he wants to live and where he wants to, what lifestyle he wants. But
I think Philly's very intriguing. But if you're talking about
basketball
lifestyle
standpoint, for me, it's like Philly and then everybody else.
I'm with you on the basketball side. Cleveland would be good as long as I also then couldn't reroute James Harden. Like if I'm LeBron, I'm saying I don't want to play with him. I'll play with everyone else.
Well, Donovan resigned. Obviously, he extended.
Harden's but Harden's like reinvented himself now. He passes and stuff.
He does give the ball up, especially in clutch playoff moments. You don't want to touch it.
The original rumor years and years ago was always New York. Remember, people would go to Knicks games with the LeBron jersey, and they just won a title, so maybe he could jump on and ring chase. I don't know. I mean, that might not be impossible if we're looking for a dark horse. No,
I would say he's got a better chance of going back to the Lakers than he does of going to the Knicks.
I agree. He wanted to go to the Knicks. He definitely won't do it now. Definitely can't do it now
because they've already won without him.
Yeah. Out of those teams, will he get? Because I firmly believe people have their belief about LeBron. Like you're not changing your opinion about LeBron James. Would any of those have people trying to discredit him as a ring chaser? Because almost everybody does it at some particular point.
I mean,
but none of those teams won the title. I mean, a couple of them were first and second round exits. One of them was a play-in team. The Warriors lost in the play-in game last year, so you definitely can't call that a ring chase.
Well, what about Dallas? I mean, Dallas has got a young player. Mark Cuban's not happy down there. He's getting ousted by management or getting frozen out, he thinks.
That's what happens when you sell a controlling
interest. Yeah, you didn't have to sell, Mark.
Is that not crazy, Drew?
Yeah, you didn't have to do it.
They're not letting me run things after I gave up control.
After I sold them and made $1 billion. I don't know. I don't know where we got into this thought that you sell the team, you get the money, and then you still get to run it.
Totally bizarre.
It just goes to show you, it can be a money investment for some, but for some, it's still about having a toy to play with. And that was what Mark always liked about being the Dallas Mavericks owner. Mm-hmm. And then he sold it. He's like, I'll still be involved. Now you're getting pushed out. Now you're upset. He's going to probably try and buy another team now. It's just kind of funny to see all that happen and go down the road. I don't think he's standing at the Venetian, Billy, next time he goes to Vegas.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, I'd probably bet the under on that one.
All right. When we come back, Hunter Baumgart's going to join the party. He is going to let us know about the nuts and bolts, but then we'll ask him the Sal Frelick question, see what Hunter has to say about that. That's next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's a Thursday in the good land. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen. We're awaiting the arrival of our pal Hunter Baumgardt, who has popped up on our stream right there as we speak. Hello, Hunter.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're great.
Better now.
We're rolling through. I don't know if you were aware when you woke up and saw social media, we kind of kicked a hornet's nest because I was talking about what it would take and what the Brewers would have to package to get a top line starter like Tarik Skubal or somebody like that. And I threw Sal Frelick's name into the mix. And Hunter, you'd have thought I had suggested that they stop selling beer at American Family Field.
Yeah, Sal is a fan favorite. There's no doubt about that. Jake Bauers recently called him the heartbeat of the team. So I think the team also kind of is on the wavelength of the fans on that one.
Yep. I'm old enough to remember when Pat Murphy said, "You'll send me down before I send Blake Perkins down."
Yes, things change things change quickly in sports. Major League Baseball is no exception to that. So yeah, I mean, look, when Luis Lara comes up and does what he does and plays right field last night, yeah, you start to think about those things and what.
And it wasn't in any way a slight on Sal. And I'm not saying that they should get rid of the guy and he's a stiff or anything. I'm saying that to get something, you got to give something.
Oh,
and if you give him, it's a Gold Glove guy who's an established major league player that would assuage any fan base that thinks they're selling, and getting ripped off. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're going to get a guy like Skubal, the Tigers are going to want guys who they can build around in the future. They're not going to necessarily want a guy in an expiring deal. They're not looking to win this year. If they're trading away Skubal, they're not looking to win this year. They're looking to win in the future. And so they already have, a decent amount of talent over there. They had their big prospect come up earlier this season. So they are looking to add probably in the younger department. Sal Frelick would fit that. Not that he's, as young as maybe a Churio or a Lara, but he's definitely in the, beginning parts of his career. He's shown the Gold Glove defense and trying to put it together offensively consistently. And look, he hit 348 in June. Obviously, it hasn't been great in July so far. But yeah, you have to. I mean, look, if you want Skubal, if people want that guy, you're going to have to give up a significant amount of talent, whether it's major league or minor league. And I would think that a major leaguer is going to be involved in something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's going to have to be a major league player there. And I think more teams are also looking for major league players, right? Like I was listening to Ken Rosenthal a couple of days ago predict that he thinks there's going to be more, major league player for major league player trades than you've really ever seen with somewhat maybe the uncertainty on the other side of 27, but also just like this big grouping of teams that all still kind of believe they're in it. And the Tigers are also one of those teams that I think are going to somewhat believe you're in it. You're going to have to entice them. But Hunter, it's difficult because I don't know that the major league product has ever matched up or lined up with they're as good at the major league level and they're potentially even better in the minor leagues. Like their asset load, especially with in player personnel, is higher than it ever has been before. Not all these guys can play for you. Like I listed out right away Luis Pena and Jet Williams. I think they're both very intriguing bargaining chips. Maybe Pena is different because of the health issues that he's had this year, but he's still a 20-year-old kid who's got immense talent and potential. That they have so many dudes, especially in the infield, not all of them can play. They got to be able to identify, and it would feel malpractice is going to be a strong word. Maybe I'm a week away from organizational malpractice, but I might get there in terms of not being able and not feeling like you should strike while the iron's hot and go and make one of these sizable acquisitions.
It does. I mean, how many years are you going to be in this position and not do that type of deal, right? Like we saw last year, they were in this type of position, didn't do that type of deal. Obviously, they haven't done it really. I mean, you go back to CeCe, they've made some, the Mike Moustakas deal, I guess you could put up there as a significant, veteran guy who came in and could make an immediate impact. Right? So but again, it's even a bigger deal than that. But even if it's a Mike Moustakas deal that they really haven't done, since 2018, like this is. And plus, you're looking at a team right now that's just out of first place in baseball. And You mentioned the minor league too. You have I saw yesterday Baseball America put out a tweet. The top 3 records in baseball have the top 3 farm systems right now: Dodgers, Brewers, and Rays. And it's wild to think about how good these guys are at the major league level and also have great minor league systems. If that's the case, okay, then you know what? The Dodgers might go out and and make some moves and bolster their major league team from their minor league system. The Rays, I know they're stingy as well, but maybe they're thinking that they have a chance with the way the Yankees have been playing as of late, and maybe they're thinking they got a chance to make a run this year, especially with how they started the season and how well they played. Then you might want to think about it as well. It's not the Brewers way. We all know that. But at what point does what Matt Arnold says at the end of every season, we want to bring a World Series to Milwaukee, become really the forefront of your mind rather than, okay, watching what you do for 27 and 28. I don't disagree with the formula because they have been consistently good for so long now. But there is an argument to be made that one of these years, especially when you're one of the best teams in baseball, it's not like this team is, 50 and 40. This team is 58 and 34 right now. And look, there's 3 weeks to go till maybe these trades would be made, just because I think a lot of teams are looking to say, all right, are we buyers or sellers? We don't know yet. The expanded playoffs make everybody kind of decide that later. But I wonder if over the next couple of weeks, they start to consider some of these deals.
Yeah, I don't think deviating from your MO is necessarily out of the question at all. I don't think most fans would say, even if you believe in the process, that say that's a problem. That's part of it. And the advantage you have is we talk about bites at the apple. By doing something like this, you wouldn't in any sense have to go away from that strategy. The Brewers have enough depth organizationally, and with a team that there'd be no mortgaging of a future or any of that nonsense. You don't have to cut it down any apple trees to do this. You can give away a piece you like, but you might feel good about your depth of the multiple pieces. Whether or not they do this, you could give away a couple guys and still be confident that you'll have good teams going forward.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I mean, if you say, okay, I don't think they should get rid of Frelick, or if they, I think he's a very important part of the team, but just talent for talent wise, I think Luis Lara could sub into that role pretty darn well from what we've seen in a couple games. Now, he's younger. He hasn't proved it in the major leagues yet. Sal Frelick has proved it. Look, I mean, he was almost hit 300 last year in a full major league season. That's proving it at the major league level. However, I do think that Luis Lara has a lot of different talent. He has the great defense. We saw him make the diving catch. I know he had the rough one to start the game last night, but he's battling the sun, second major league game. Okay. But here's the other part of that. So yes, I do think he could substitute. And like you said, they have the depth in the organization to put guys in those positions if they do trade away, especially in the minor leagues. The other side of that is the clubhouse. And we all know what happened in 2022. And we all know what Jake Bauers said about the heartbeat of the team and the other guys, what they've said about Sal Frelick and obviously Pat Murphy and even Matt Arnold to a certain extent. There is a clubhouse chemistry thing to be considered. I think this Brewers team and organization considers that more than they did in 2022, because they learned from that in 2022. The only year they've missed the playoffs, since 2018 was the year they traded Josh Hader away. So I do think that is going to be in the forefront of their minds if they do consider a move like a Sal Frelick. I don't necessarily think they'll obviously consider it. If they get a call, that they're going to consider things. I don't think it's likely he gets moved, but I think that is a factor in it too.
Hunter Baumgardt joining us here, brought to us by Import Minded. Hunter, we need the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury update, and Logan Henderson's pitching, so I don't need to ask about him, but obviously Woodruff is the one that we're worried about, and it doesn't seem like it's trending in a good direction. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, the experts, orthowisconsin.com, the website. What is your take on Woody's status and future right now?
Yeah, just not good. The fact that there's a new injury, I think, is the biggest thing. I know yesterday the quotes came out from Pat Murphy saying this is really hard on Woodruff, and he's trying to keep a good attitude and everything. And then we get the update from the Brewers that, he's got a new injury to the anterior shoulder capsule, and they're waiting on a second opinion from Dr. Keith Meister, who did the surgery back in 2023. So we'll wait for that second opinion, but this does not sound great. I think coming into the season, you were optimistic that, okay, even if he misses a month and a half, and he did, right, from April 30th to mid-June, even if he does that, okay, get it out of the way early, and then he'd be good for the rest of the season. He was probably not going to make it the entire season healthy. Like, the odds are he was going to have a break at some point. Well, it's very concerning that even after that rehab and after getting back and getting to a place where he pitched 5+ innings in the minor leagues, then came in and made 3 starts, and in that third start then has to go out, and now all of a sudden we're looking at a new injury. Yeah, this is not good, and this obviously puts threatens the rest of his season. I mean, obviously what they have said, what Woodruff has said, what the team has said is they want him down the stretch into the postseason. He has said, he has not been able to pitch down the stretch into the postseason like at all over these last few years. And so, you feel for the guy because obviously the young pitchers talk about how impactful he is in that clubhouse, how helpful he has been to them as being kind of the uncle of the group, so to speak, and helping the guys along. And I don't doubt that some of the success in the starting pitching has been because of the wisdom he's been able to impart. But boy, it would be a tough blow, obviously, for him. That's first and foremost, but also for the team. I mean, you were counting on him to be your veteran guy in that bullpen or in that starting rotation. So does that lean you to then want to go out and get a veteran starting pitcher more than before? I think it has to. I think you have to consider it more. As much as bullpen reliever was maybe your top priority, I wonder if starting pitcher is maybe becomes your top priority, and a veteran guy. Because look, I mean, Miz, in any scenario, I'd trust him. Obviously, Harrison's been a little tough, and we can get into what he's dealing with. It sounds like some soreness there. But otherwise, Sproat, Henderson, Gasser, guys that you obviously have seen great things, but what do they do in the postseason other than Gasser? We're still looking for these guys to prove themselves in the postseason. Not that Gasser has necessarily proved himself, but he obviously has some experience there. So you want that veteran guy. That was going to be Woodruff, and a guy who's been there, done that down the stretch into the postseason. Doesn't necessarily look like that's might be the case. We'll see. We'll wait for the second opinion.
It's really unfair that his last postseason pitch potentially is in 2021.
Man,
I mean, he comes in Game 4 that was already basically lost. I think he came in after the Aaron Ashby blow up, and they were unable to get that thing done against Atlanta. And your point against being able to see players react to standing on the chalk line during a playoff game. Like, at least Gasser stood on the chalk line. He knows what that's like, but there's a different beast when you're performing in it. That law firm of Sproat, Henderson, and Gasser, this moment right now, which one are you most optimistic about? Because I love and am still tantalized by Logan Henderson. And outside of his injury, I don't know that we've seen him not have a ton of success yet at the major league level in any of those times.
Right. He's been, I think, the most consistent of those guys when it comes to being a starting pitcher at the major league level. So I'm with you. I would think that, if I were to put, okay, who is your top 3 starters in a playoff series? Miz, Harrison, and then I think I put Logan Henderson even in front of a Sproat or a Drowan right now, just because I really like what we've seen from him and the consistency and the ability to kind of battle out there even when he doesn't have his best stuff. I really like the consistency we've seen from Henderson. So I agree with you there. Coleman Crow, we'll see. I don't know if he's necessarily a factor in it. I know he's obviously had some positives, some not so positive starts so far this year in a limited number. He's going to have another scheduled outing coming up tomorrow in Nashville, where he's going to throw 70 to 75 pitches. Mid to late July return for him, so he could be a factor in this as well. Other guys, Joel Kuhnel out till July, early August, as far as a bullpen arm. Same with, Rob Zastryzny might come back a little earlier. He started his rehab assignment in Arizona. He's scheduled for a next outing in Nashville coming up tomorrow. His estimated return is mid to late July, so maybe after the All-Star break for him. Another bullpen arm to get back. And then you also have Brandon Lockridge, who was basically delayed a month because he needed a little bit of arthroscopic work done on that leg. So he is estimated to return in late July. DL Hall also estimated to return in late July. First live BP scheduled July 16th, a week from today. So you have guys like, if you get DL Hall back in that bullpen, that would be good. Obviously, Rob Z has been good in the past. He hasn't pitched at the major league level yet this year. And then Joel Kuhnel, we'll see. He's been obviously up and down. So those are some bullpen arms. And then Lockridge as an outfielder, kind of a bench guy you wouldn't mind getting back as well. He's late July.
All right, Hunter, one of the things that stood out from yesterday was that Bryce Trent got the whole day off after playing the doubleheader, and they didn't use him to pinch it. And Murph's like, nah, he was absolutely untouchable. Like, don't even put your spikes on. son. I thought that was pretty interesting that you have to do that because that's like the only way to get Turang off the field, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, he was holding firm. You have a righty on the mound, 2 guys on base in that 7th inning, and he goes with Andrew Vaughn there. I mean, I get it. I mean, he's looking to, they're in this long stretch of games here before the All-Star break, and you want these guys to be as fresh as they can be down the stretch. That's why I think Luis Lara is up here this week. Is he up here beyond this week? We'll see. But I think he's basically giving guys some rest throughout this week. And so they're using Luis Lara in that way, and they feel better. Like Lara's going to give you more than Blake Perkins playing in that spot right now, which I don't disagree with. And so they bring him up, and he's kind of in that role where he's going to take some time. The Greg Jones thing is, I know we talked about Jet Williams possibly coming up, and they needed a 40-man spot. Well, they needed a 40-man spot for Greg Jones too. Either they don't think Jet Williams is ready, or this is such a quick thing that they, don't want to send Jet back down, and they want to, have consistency like they wanted with Luis Lara if they were going to come up. So they wanted, but boy, Greg Jones makes the error last night. Obviously, we haven't seen much from the plate at all from him. So it just, with a team that's trying to, battle for a top spot in the National League, and you have, a guy like Jet Williams down there, that makes it a little puzzling if this goes beyond, these few games. And hey, look, every game is important, especially when you're in a battle between a game or two for a bye or a game or two for a top seed. All that matters. So that's the interesting part about Greg Jones being at the major league level. But I get him going, okay, we're going to give this guy a day off. He played both games of the doubleheader. I want to make sure he's healthy. As much as it's win tonight, you also have to, in baseball, keep an eye on that 162 game schedule.
And Hunter, I love that you're already on buy watch. Like I appreciated at Hunter being on air yesterday, not only the Joey Ortiz stat with Cooper Pratt, because my eyes obviously clearly were not deceiving me. The numbers are much better since Cooper Pratt's come up. Maybe it's like the boogeyman's here. Like I knew he was coming up at some point. Now he's here, and I didn't fully lose a spot on the team that can help. But only a game and a half back of the Dodgers for that 1 seed. I like where your head's at, Hunter. I like that you're already eyeing that thing up 5 days away from the All-Star break. So keep it up.
Exactly. Well, we're just trying to keep everybody posted on what's going on here. We got a 4.5 game lead for the Brewers on the Braves right now, 2 games back of the Dodgers right now. So they're sitting right in the middle there. Again, if the season ended today, they'd get a bye. And I think that 2 seed might even be more important than the 1 seed, just because you already, like Drew, you've said before, like you already win that first playoff series if you're that 1 or 2 seed. So let's go and get that.
You win the series, you don't have to play.
I love winning those
kinds. Exposure. That is the best thing that you can possibly do. Hunter, great run. Thank you very much. You got a show this evening.
Yes. Usually we have Milwaukee baseball tonight on Thursday nights, but it is the pregame show tonight because the Brewers play. So 5:30 to 6:30, we'll have the baseball pregame show getting you set for the series finale in St. Louis.
Fantastic. Good run. We'll see you later. But thanks, Hunter. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
Hunter brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted experts for car care on 27th Street north of 894. All right. Billy's been teasing a good wake and bake story from happyplacehemp.com.
It's a wild one.
Putting pressure on himself. I like it.
That's true. I'm overselling this one as well.
See if he has the funds in the account to cash this check. We'll see. We will see. Stay tuned. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's time to close up shop already. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The fastest 3 hours of the day come between 5 and 8 a.m.
It's crazy how quickly this runs through, and all of a sudden Dolph's in here, and you're like, wow, this is like summer. All of a sudden Summerfest is over, and
you're right.
You're staring down State Fair, and it's almost done.
Crazy. Time for our Wake and Bake story, brought to us by our pals at happyplacehemp.com. Rob and Chris, proprietors of or purveyors of the best CBD products you'll find anywhere. Drift Seltzer, Drift Gummies, Delta 8 Gummies, pet products, muscle creams. Check them out. Happyplacehemp.com. Fill your cart and use the code HUDDLE for 25% off and free shipping every time you go to the well. Happyplacehemp.com. The code is HUDDLE. Billy, what do you got?
Well, I thought I was getting intel because this one comes from Fox59.com, but the individual who was reporting on it said he was from Fox 59 and CBS 4 in Indianapolis.
Those sound legit, right?
I didn't know that you could actually combine. However, that is what they do in Indianapolis, and that's where this very real story from Matt Adams comes from Fort Wayne, Indiana. What started as an investigation into a very sad stabbing and arson took a disturbing turn in Fort Wayne when a man admitted he'd set his own genitals on fire. On May 6th, the Fort Wayne Fire Department investigated a fire on a detached garage. Around the same time, police were responding to a reported stabbing, according to a probable cause affidavit. The property owners of the garage said a neighbor woke them up to alert them of the fire. The owners noticed a family member, 36-year-old Christopher, had been missing. Meantime, Fort Wayne police encountered a stabbing victim who turned out to be the Christopher Pendon. According to court documents, as he was being taken to the hospital, he claimed that he had been stabbed somewhere in downtown Fort Wayne. He said that they had been threatened a day before, and according to court documents, he told investigators, Pendon later told investigators that he was dishonest about the stabbing and wanted to be truthful. That's when he revealed the true cause of the fire. Christopher Pendon said that he went into the garage and, quote, harmed himself by cutting off his pee.
Oh, my God.
According to court documents, Christopher used a kitchen knife to detach the appendage.
Lord. Thank you for that. Thank
He
you.
told investigators that he then poured gasoline on it.
Why? What?
And set it on fire on the floor of the garage just inside the door.
Yeah, he could have gone
He
for a
walked
walk.
away until he encountered police. He was charged with arson, 4-level felony. Hearing is scheduled for next week. He did not get the kitchen knife back.
Oh
my God.
They walk among us.
Centel.
They walk among us.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's enough for today.
Red plastic gas container, 4 lighters, and a kitchen knife.
Whoa.
And a very, very burnt hot dog.
Please don't come yet, Lord.
Oh,
it's not all of us.
Oh, my.
I said.
Yeah, you said that's a winner.
You'd be proud. He would be proud of that one.
Pretty much mic dropped that one. Thanks for all the robust discussion. Hey, guess what? Tomorrow is Friday on the program. We're going to try to get a hold of Paul Wagner.
We're hoping so. Come on, Doc Hounds.
Scheduled to appear from the Doc Hounds. But in any event, we'll have plenty to chop it up tomorrow. We'll see you at 5 a.m.
Peace.